So almost top of the hour, folks. We're going to do a little gallery here tonight. We're going to talk to you. We've got a great demonstration. This is worldwidewoodturners.org. We are the world's largest wood turning organization of its kind. And if you haven't picked up on it yet, and I don't know why you wouldn't have picked up on it, this is out in print today on your website. This is that big number. Where's that? There, the big number 5 up there. That means is issue number 5 of the Wood Turners Worldwide newsletter. And this month, this week, it comes out every other week. Okay. We'll get a fantastic article in here by Joaquin Vincent on how to do some offset center jig turning. He shows you the jig and how to use it, how to set it up, how to lay it out. And then we've got other little tidbits and notes and details in there. And also some great photography of work that our members submitted to our editor. And if you've got an item, an article, a photograph, or whatever, well, let me tell you, this is your newsletter. This isn't something a committee puts together. This is what a member puts together. Joaquin puts this together for us. JJ's our editor, and he puts this thing together as a volunteer. And he does the work for the benefit of wood turning. So if you haven't seen it, it's available on our website, worldwidewoodturners.org. And if you get it, make a copy or send a copy or give a link to some of your other friendly wood turners or friends that you know that do wood turning or fool around their shop. This is a very informative piece of work. This is only one of the major steps we do at Worldwide Wood Turners. Number 2 is right here. This free program each week, and I got to continue, pardon me, on that in a moment. This meeting each week is produced for the benefit of wood turning. No company, corporation, club, nobody benefits. There's no nickels change hands here. And I'm very proud of that. This has been put together by members, by a group of folks that say, for the benefit of wood turning, we want to gather and chat and talk and share. And that's just what we do. And the third step, and it's a big one, there's only one place in the entire world, only one place in the entire world that you can find all this information bundled up in one small package. And that's called worldwidewoodturners.org on the website. That's right. We have a website. And every single thing that happens here, that happens in a newsletter, that happens in demonstrations, happens in chat, every single thing is right there. Our webmaster sweeps, he lifts up the carpet and sweeps out the dust and puts that on our website. It's all there, and you get this for free. And all we ask is you invite your friends. Just tell them, come on down and join us, because for free, there's not a better show in the world. Nowhere. Please invite your friends to come on over. This is meeting number 230 on something that they said would never happen. And I love it. I lived the week to get here, to meet with you folks, to hear you. And really, there's a couple of you folks out there that do some really weird stuff during the week. And I want to see what you did. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'll see your faces. I see you right now. Y'all look at him and say, he's not talking about me, is he? Is he? Yes, I am. I'm talking about you. And we're going to do a little gallery. Dane, who should I talk about?
Well, gosh, let's go with Dan. He wanted to get something in bright and early here, so
That's not Dane.
let's see. Spotlight.
That's Dan.
There he is.
Okay.
Grabbed the wrong one, didn't I?
This one?
Oh, beautiful.
What's the wood?
Gorgeous.
That is maple.
Looks that way. Wow.
Well done.
It is
Oh,
pretty.
very
Beautiful.
nice.
And
What
I got-
finish did you put on it?
polyurethane. And
That's
I
pretty.
stained it with, or put a Ritz dye on it. They called it Racing Red. So
Well done.
No,
pretty
it looks
decent.
great.
Looks almost as nice as Dane's. Very good job.
Getting that there.
I made this. Just I
Look
had
at that.
wood.
Now that's cute.
Oh yeah.
You use the term.
Nice job, Dan. I
That.
see the advice. I see the advice that was taken. Good job.
Yep. And I made this. And
Ooh.
I heard
Look
it
at
pop.
that.
Nice fit.
Very
Well done.
Very nice.
this
I love that sculpted wood.
loose on it for a little bit, and then it comes up, and then it'll grab, so it don't just fall off.
There you go.
Nice.
And then I made this. I shown this, I think.
Done it.
And
Oh,
this is a chatter tool.
nice.
I put a cap screw in it, and very cheap to make. This is just a piece of 1/2-inch conduit. And this is the designs it makes, stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Very good.
Can we see the tip
What's
of that?
the,
thing?
what's the cutter made out of? The chatter?
This right here, I just used Sawzall blade,
Okay.
quarter 16th inch thick. And I made up a bunch of them because I think they want way too much money for them to buy them. And
Right.
you use
Mhm.
Sawzall, blade gets dull, you throw it away. And I got one other thing, and I have to give credit to Scott Tug.
Big. Scott Tate.
Yeah,
Oh, well done. Way to
Nice.
get organized.
yep. And now I can see the colors I have. I had them before and I couldn't look in, see, I had to go through each one individual.
Yep.
So this worked out
Nice.
really well, and I picked that up from Scott, and I appreciate it.
Right on.
And I believe that's all I have.
Look at you, Dan.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Good job. Great work.
Cranking it out. Good job. All right, let's go to Mr. Gerald. How you doing, sir? You're muted.
You're muted, Gerard.
Well, we can't hear him, which is not the same thing because he doesn't show muted. Maybe you need to pick a different mic, Gerard. Yeah, I can't hear you.
All right. I'll come back to you, Gerald. All right. Well, let's go to Ohio and see what Miss Brenda's got. No band-aids, right?
Nice. No band-aids. And I've been working in the garage. Yes. All right. So I've been making picture
Stand
frames.
Stand by for framing.
Yeah. So this is the ones I've been doing, right? And then I had the centerpiece I didn't know what to do with. So they've got the groove in them. I made 3 more on the inside of that. See there?
Yeah.
With the center of that one, I made a bead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check him out. Does he look like a little bird? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then here's the middle of another one. I think this one was, is there a red elm?
Yeah.
Or red oak?
There is, yeah. What do you
Yeah,
plan to
okay.
do with those beads?
I don't
like
know
them.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah,
This
that
one I put
Spalting's beautiful.
text on it. And everything else I've just spray painted with polyurethane until I've ran out.
Ah,
There's two more of the frames. These are red elm. Got the groove in the
Nice.
back.
Hey,
It's all
Brenda,
plastic now.
Brenda, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you were cutting those, from your main one, and you're making
Uh-huh.
the smaller ones, are you using a parting tool?
Yes.
Okay. No.
And
Okay.
I
you're
started
going-
with the pointed carbide, and then
Now you're
went in
going
with the,
straight in, right? You're going straight in.
Yeah.
And you're trying to think of things to do. You know what? If you would, the next time you go and part that, if you would part it on a 45 and you take those two out, you'll have a bowl. You know how Billy had the crazy
I know
bowl?
what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see that right there on the 45, and you can make a bowl out of that also.
Yeah, and that's what I did with the first one was I made like a small plate. Yeah. So then I also made another mirror.
Beautiful.
I
That's
didn't get
nice.
the handle on for it. The handle's kind of crooked, but they're getting better.
Warp on you?
This one, the whole thing goes down inside the hole, so it fits
Okay.
a little better. And I made that with the skew.
Well,
Yeah.
Well
So then I got to show this to Bob. Bob Grinstead.
Hey, looky there.
Right.
Pretty. That's pretty.
Yeah. Bob sent me the measurements and stuff to make an 8-inch. Problem is, the center is 8 inches. And I need the outside 8 inches put on my wheel, you know.
Just
So-
like new jaws.
Start with turning here. Yeah, my jaws ain't quite this big.
I'm
Well,
gonna shut it down.
Clamp the other way. Clamp from the inside out.
Shut the whole thing down.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
good,
I'll
Brenda.
start with turning it this way. Turn
Yep,
it
you're
down
gonna
a
have to
little
get
bit.
creative.
how to
Yep,
do that?
yep.
What? Once you shut
Right.
it, shut leave me.
Look.
Control.
And the only
Alt,
thing
what?
I had
No,
big
control.
enough to go around it was pipe clamps. So that's what I did today.
Pretty.
Yep, and this was some
Nice.
of that
Very good,
$3 scrap
Brenda.
stuff I bought.
Looks good.
What kind of wood? What are your woods?
Well, let's see. We got Paduke, canary wood, what's the black stuff? Wingay, and that's it. Three different ones. Paduke,
All right.
Wingay,
Look forward to seeing it completed.
canary, African Paduke, as a matter of fact. What's that?
So look forward to seeing it completed.
Yeah, we'll see. So far, so good.
Otherwise, put it on your slacker stack.
Wear
You never see it again.
wear your dust mask when you turn that.
Yes.
Oh yes, always do.
Yeah,
Always.
Two of those three are nasty.
Yeah. The Paduke and the Wingay.
Yeah. Paduke,
Yeah.
if you don't wear a dust mask, you'll think your nose is bleeding for 3 days.
Right. The Wingay, I made the last chess set I made out of Wingay.
Must have a sensitive nose. Never experienced that.
Oh, it's just the dust. Yeah, it collects in your nose if you don't wear a dust mask.
Yeah.
Oh,
Terrible.
And
Terrible.
then it looks like
dust.
you got a bloody nose.
Well, you
Yeah,
just think you do. You don't really, but you think you do because of the dust.
right.
right
No,
on.
always wear my dust mask. I can't turn without my dust mask.
Good.
No.
Very
That's all
well.
I got, guys.
Looks
Okay,
great,
thank-
Brenda.
Thank you.
All right, let's well, let's see what Ruby's got to follow up with.
Well, I had a request for some French rolling pins. So I
Oh,
had
nice.
some maple in the garage, so I made these up.
Very nice.
Well done.
And then to go with them, I have to make another one of these. It's a bread knife,
Yep.
Gotcha.
and the blade is basically, it's just a, now I'm forgetting the term for it,
Serrated?
a hacksaw blade.
Serrated, yeah.
Yeah.
Rated.
Yeah.
And if you do it right, if like this one, the way it's made, is for a right-handed person, because this edge here, the inside edge, you put on the outside of the loaf, and then the blade cuts.
That's the frame.
But you could turn the blade around for a left-handed person.
Great idea.
And
Right.
it works very well. And if you
Is the
set
handle,
this,
is it all one piece?
well, it's one piece down here, and then I just glued on some
Oh, I see it.
on the sides to make the handle a
Gotcha.
little bit thicker.
Hmm.
But
Cool.
you can make this distance here just right so that the slices will fit in your toaster.
Mm-hmm.
And then last week, Jim noticed these behind me. Old Eagle Eye there.
Oh, yeah.
These were a pair of kaleidoscopes that I made.
Hmm.
Great. It's got to be back in the early 90s.
Okay.
They're beautiful.
Are they triangular and then turned round?
Yep. In fact, I
Yeah.
took the thing out of the bottom of this so you can see.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Cut 3 mirrors and worked them into place down there.
Yeah, I did the plans for them years ago, I remember. But I've made hundreds and hundreds.
And then this just
Yeah.
fits in here.
Yep.
And then as you turn the back end, turn the front end, you can look through the back end and view what's there. And if you still have a set of those plans, I'd be glad to have a copy of them, Jim, because I don't remember all the steps I used in making it.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruby, how does that fasten onto the main part?
You mean right
With your
here?
right hand? No, your right hand. How does that fasten on to stay on?
That you'll have to ask Jim. That was one of the reasons I asked for his set of plans, because I don't remember how I did that.
I still can't figure it out either, Jim.
The rotating barrel has a slot cut inside it. And watch, Ruby, the object box will fall out and you'll have to make a new one. Yeah.
There.
You know how many times I've done that? Anyway, you point the thing at the camera so you can see down the mirror. The object box or the holder has a slot in it. And those screws have washers go into the main body and fit and go into that slot, which lets the thing rotate.
Oh, cool.
But
Yeah, and right there where the bottom one is, you can see where there was a little hole drilled here so that the screw could be attached.
Yeah, one at a time.
And then when you rotate it, you come up here and then you could put the next one in.
Yeah.
And that's because you made it out of three pieces triangle.
It's three pieces of wood in a triangle turned round on the outside.
Okay.
Most kaleidoscopes are a block of wood with a hole drilled down the middle. And
That's what I did, and I can't figure out how to put I can't figure out how to hold that on there.
Well, and the mirrors all flop around inside.
It's
It's
tight.
great.
They're tight. But I just can't keep it in there.
When you put the
Sounds like-
screws in, when you put the screws in, put it one at a time in and adjust it. Don't put 3 screws in and try and figure out which one's holding it up,
Right.
because it takes you an afternoon.
All right.
Sounds like
All right.
sounds like we need a demo.
Yeah, Jim would
Oh.
be the ideal person to do the demo.
Yeah.
Good
Someday,
one, Ruby. She deflected.
someday. I demoed it at SWAT, oh God, years ago.
Yeah, see, Jim has his reference sheets he can go back to, whereas I've just got to look at these and try and remember back. How many years ago was that now? 35 years ago or so? Maybe more?
I made one, and when I took it to the club, everybody wanted one. So I was drawing them on cardboard boxes and napkins and all kinds of stuff. I finally sat down, made a set of plans. Yeah, lots of fun. I made hundreds. I made them 8 and 10 at a time.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
What else
enough
you got?
time spent on me. Thank you.
All right, right on. Thank you. Okay, so Pete and Sarah have something to show. However, I have the file, so I'm going to do a screen share. And Pete, if you can introduce what we're going to be looking at, as I'm trying to find it, pull it up. Peter, are you there? Pete and Sarah?
Where's the lampshade?
Yep, that's what we're looking at is the lampshade. So Pete and Sarah, Pete Severson made this. And beyond that, I can't explain anything else. Sarah, Pete, you out there? Saw them come in.
They're there, but they're muted, Dane. I don't know if anybody's there.
Okay. Well, I know Sarah messaged me and said she was having some technical difficulties, but anyway, this was done by Pete, so very, very good looking lampshade.
Sure is. There's Doug.
All right. Let's go to Al. Al, turn your video on.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
There you are.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm going to come back to Gerald next.
A wing,
Gerald, I'll be coming to
a
you.
wing bowl, a little rim on it on a pedestal.
Cool.
Live edges, I'd be able to.
That's cool, Al.
Very
Very
nice,
nice.
Al.
Al.
Good.
Play around. And if you guys remember, I showed a neighbor had a peach tree that fell down, and this is some of the wood. This is just a little sliver. I just wanted to show what it looked like, so I just spun this real quick.
Oh,
But
Peach?
Great.
That's
yeah,
pretty
it's
wood.
really pretty wood. Very
That
pretty
is
wood.
pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Like a cartoon character down
What's that?
there. Right there by your finger, cartoon character. Yeah, right there. Right upside down.
Like a camel.
One question while I have everybody, you know those little glass like test tubes that you put down in a vase for water? Where do you get those at?
Hobby Lobby,
Amazon.
Michaels, or
I've been to Hobby Lobby, I've been to Johann Fabrics, I've been to Dollar Store.
I got them on Amazon.
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 You call it a vase?
Any chemistry supply place has them by the, they're about, I think I paid $30. About $30 and I got 250 or something. God, I had them.
At Hobby
Test
Lobby,
tubes.
they had test tubes and they were $7.50 each because you're able to get them hot, he says. So, I mean, I'm still back to square one, but I'll try, I guess, Amazon.
Al, I just, Al, Al, I
Test
just put a
tube.
link, I just put a link in the chat, Al, for the Amazon product.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Information on the website.
There was,
Website.
I
there
didn't
was a
hear you,
gentleman.
Tim.
I say the website has information on supplies and things like that. So you may be able to find it there if you don't save the chat and Matt Harbor's link there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tim.
I always use the plastic test tubes, and when I need to get more, I just search for plastic test tubes, and
I'm putting another one in there.
usually buy a couple of hundred at a time. Yeah.
That's a good idea, Paul, because after you've made a couple of these and you show them, everybody picks them up and turns them over to look at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drops out.
Yeah, you have more smashed test tubes. You learn quick.
I did a craft fair before Christmas, and there's me and my wife on the next stand next to me. She does enameling, and this lady came along, picked up one of my little vases with a plastic tube in it, turned it over to look at the bottom for whatever reason, and then the tube fell out, bounced on the floor, and she just carried on, put that down, picked up the next one, and did the same. There's a whole line of these.
Oh, no.
She went all down the line, and every single one of them ended up on the floor. I just got to sort of bite my lip rather than say anything. But anyway, she wandered off. I picked them all up, put them back in. She went round this marquee we were in, and then she came back again and did it again.
For Pete's
Oh
sake.
my God.
Wow.
Crazy.
Some people's kids.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
for some people.
Yeah.
Al, do you have more to
So-
show?
Was that was that it, Al?
A little
Al,
crotch.
did you have anything else?
Yeah, this little crotch platter. Well, it's called a bowl on a platter. Can you see it?
That's cool.
Nice. Yeah, he keeps getting bumped.
So that's it. I not a whole lot of time in the shop this week or last week, but thank you so much.
You did, yeah.
Everybody have a nice evening.
Yep, you too.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dane.
Yep, it's all right.
I was trying to let somebody in and it switched.
Yeah. That's who keeps doing that to me.
I know.
All right. Gerald,
accidental.
I'm going to come
Those
back to you.
Switches.
Let's see if your audio is fixed.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Thanks for the welcome last week. I want to say that to everybody. Thanks very much. I love doing them.
Bob's here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I love doing them.
Here.
Oh, look at that.
I love doing
That's
them.
cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Fresh
Oh,
on leisure.
Those are nice.
That one looks like the Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Love it.
That is Mopani.
Très bien.
But my best one, I love that one.
Oh, look at that.
Love it.
Oh, those
That's
are great,
great.
Gerard.
Love the crooked hat.
His beard's almost as long as mine.
A few weeks ago, I changed my first time for Halloween.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, nice.
I made
Very nice. Very nice.
What
with,
kind of wood?
Very nice.
that's
Yeah, what-
ash, and the top is just plain. That's what's called it. Oh
Maple?
no,
Sycamore?
no. A laurel tree, and I put it in interesting colors from Martin Saban Smith onto it, and that's
Okay.
done with a Dremel.
Very nice.
That is
Well
really
done,
good,
Gerard.
Gerard.
Then
Pretty.
I
Well
did
done.
a Mopani ball.
Ooh.
I like Mopani. Mopani is lovely.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very
And
nice.
last but not last, we did have a thing on the fireplace, on the mantelpiece, but my wife didn't like it because it was just candles and candles, so she wanted that. So I made,
Oh, that's
I
beautiful.
replaced
There you go.
3 candles with birds.
There you go.
That's great.
Well done.
That's Hugh, that's Jara, and that's Maple.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Very
Beautiful.
nice,
Yeah.
Gerard.
That's it. Thanks very much.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Very nice addition to our group.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
go to Mr. Harbor. Got you, Matt.
Okay, I'm just gonna spotlight myself. I've got a couple. I had some warm days here. It was 71 degrees Fahrenheit here yesterday, and now it's 23 and wind chills 8. So never a dull moment. But I had some time in the shop, so I made a few birdhouse ornaments. I scorched the top of this one with the torch. So there's one. Thank you. I like this one better. I had some fun games with the shape of it, and I had a spare small finial floating around, so I made that one.
Is that holly?
It's box elder.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I don't have any holly. My holly's like that big.
Okay.
and I had some other little spare bits of wood floating about, so I made a little apple goblet.
Oh,
Stuff
wow.
was
Oh, that's
beautiful, man.
cute.
It's just beautiful.
Thank you very much. And then I made a cherry one. It's a really thin.
Mhm.
Wow, that's
There
very
you
nice.
go.
Very nice.
If I
And then
tried to
we
make
had
a
about-
stem that small, it'd break.
Well, I can't find my pine one. The pine one has got like a 32nd of an inch stem, and it's about 6 inches tall. But that was fun. So and then we had some arbor vitae come down in a storm, a big snowstorm. So I turned a goblet out of the arbor vitae, and I got real thin. I got real thin with it.
Very cool. Good.
So and it's
Beautiful.
thin in the bottom too. You
Yeah.
can see that.
Wow.
Excellent.
Again.
That's beautiful.
So
Nice
yeah, I'm
one, Matt.
happy that the wood's pretty too. The finish does some interesting things to the wood. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I had to
Nice.
stop it because I stopped turning it because I could see through it. So
Good idea.
I was like, this is gonna break if I'm not careful. So,
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
No
Thank
sense
you.
in
That's
doing
all
it
I got.
with a plug.
Real
Very
good.
All
nice.
right. Thanks, Matt.
Great job.
Thank you, everyone.
Nice job, Matt.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Kenny. Hey, Tom.
Hello. Years ago, I made a maple holoform and recently had need for a cremation urn. So I went back to the lathe and fashioned a cap and finial for it. Yeah, let's switch cameras. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
it. And it's about a foot tall and maple with a turquoise inlay, walnut on the top, and then a Bradford pear for the finial. And
Wow.
that's all we got for tonight.
That's really pretty, Tom.
Very
Thank you.
nice, Tom. Very appropriate.
Appreciate that.
Real nice.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well done. All right. Let's go to Mr. Kingsley. Dave, what you got?
Good evening.
Well,
I've been spending most of my time doing roughing out that cherry that I was telling you about. But this is a piece of maple that I had kicking around. Let's get my name out right there. No, it's right side up. But this the bark inclusion went all the way through. And I experimented. Well, I've heard a lot of people do it, but the first time I've tried it is I crushed some coffee grounds real fine and C8 them in there.
Nice.
Looks very great.
What
It's a
do you
nice little bowl.
use coffee grounds or fresh coffee grounds?
Used.
Used. Okay.
Oh, I got to get that caffeine out first.
Yeah.
That's a priority.
What would report you if you didn't?
Well, it was some that I brought back from the Dominican Republic, and I wasn't about to use that unused. But that and a whole shelf full of cherry bowl blanks. They're probably going to take 6 months to dry. But that's what I got done this week. Been a fun week.
Good.
Oh, and
Nice
this
job.
the only
Well done.
finish it
Thanks,
has
Dave.
on it is axe paste. I haven't put anything else on it yet.
Cool.
You plan on putting something else on it?
I don't know. I might. I mean, if it gets used, whatever's on it could end up off anyhow. So,
Sure, if
and I
that
hope
wax off,
somebody.
put anything else on.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't put much
Right.
else on top of wax, can you?
Nope.
Sure.
That
Gotta
depends.
take the wax off before you put anything.
Depends on how determined you are, I guess.
Oh.
Salad dressing, green stuff goes good on it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Dave. All right, let's go to Mr. Hatch. Tim.
Hey, good evening. So I finally finished it. That's the urn.
All right.
Very nice, Tim.
So it's
Great.
Shine on that thing.
this is got about 10
Nice.
feet of lacquer on it. The lid is Paduke. Got a really nice shine to it. And you know, I went with the accent piece with the lid as a contrast just to pick up all that gorgeous spalting on there. You know, that came out really nice. So I had the tenon still on it. I just turned it off like literally right before I joined you. And I was trying, you know, sitting there trying to figure out, how do I want to do this? Because that thing's 10 and 3/4 inches, you know, without the lid, and it's about 10 inches wide, the widest point there, and it's 3/8 inch wall thickness all the way through. So, you know, doggone, we've looked at a couple different standoff jigs and other things like that to turn off the bottom of the recess. Well,
There you
and
go.
of course, there we go. This one's threaded. It's 15 inches long. I can mount it in my chuck, pin jaws, or I could mount it into oh hell, block of wood. I could do all kinds of different things. But center cone moves up and down, and these jam nuts here keep it, you know, giving you that nice
Good
tight
luck nuts.
grip and everything. I got the idea of originally I saw something that Sam Angelo had done when I first started learning how to turn and watching wood turning, and then I saw something from Mike Peace, and then of course, you know, we've got our own guys that have made different types of jam chucks and everything, but I wanted something adjustable in my shop, so that's why I went with that piece of 3/4 inch all thread there. But I'll pop in a link there if somebody's interested in making something like that. You know, from that's Mike Peace's thing. I think he made it about 6 or 7 years ago, whatever. But just I'll tell you, I was nervous as hell as I was turning off because that spalted wood was just so punky. And inside of it, I've got those threads, but inside, and I know you probably can't really see it inside there, but I did the old Bob Grinstead lacquer on the inside, and that not only finished the inside and sealed it up real good so nothing escapes, but also stabilized that really punky spalted wood. So
Well done,
that's
Tim.
all I got, but
Hey, Tim.
yes,
On
sir.
March 13th, let's show off your support jig for turning tenons off of long vessels for tips and tricks as well.
Yeah.
And then you can talk more about it.
I plan on writing up something a little bit. You can change the diameter of the cone.
Oh yeah.
You know, and do all kinds of different stuff with this. So.
But yeah, let's include that for tips and tricks if you don't mind.
Will do.
Okay, right on.
All right.
All right, let's go to Mr. Hale. Roll Tide. We got you, Gary.
Got me. Okay. Thank you. Well, a few weeks ago, I roughed this out, put it in my dry box, And yesterday I pulled it out and turned it. I had rough turned it 3/4. It's down to about 1/4. It's 11.5 inches long, 6.5 inches wide, and made for a pretty little, and it's Bradford pear.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
And finish?
Gorgeous.
So I did something this week.
Well
Okay.
done, buddy.
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you later on there. Thanks, Gary.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Sheila in Ontario.
My first try at
This
this.
is Sheila.
So this one is my problem child. I was going to pitch this out because I couldn't get it hollowed out completely. It's birch, spalted, and since I was going to scrap it, I decided to play with some dye, and then I liked it, and so I got some help hollowing it out and finished it
Nice.
off.
Good for
Very
you.
nice.
That's beautiful. I'm
Gorgeous.
glad you didn't scrap it.
That's beautiful.
It's I don't know why, but I finished it twice now, but it still keeps coming up sticky. And this was 2 weeks ago.
The top is beautiful. My.
Good job, Sheila.
Thank you.
Welcome to the crew.
This one is an urn. It's oak and purple heart.
That's beautiful. Nice
I-
stage description.
That looks really pretty.
Now I gotta try to get the lid off. I did the lid with a ABS sewer clean out cap. And I don't know why it's sticking so bad right now.
There it comes.
That's nice lamination you did.
Beautiful.
Thanks. I still need to finish the inside of it.
So
That's
my
beautiful.
question
Yeah, the stage look real good.
There's only
Welcome
one
to
person
the
that's
club,
going to see the inside, and they're not going to complain.
I know what I thought too.
but
Right?
you asked about your dice and how come they were still sticky?
The dyes, it was actually the lacquer that I put on that got sticky afterwards. It was fine right after I did it, and I don't know, but both times it's just come up sticky afterwards for some reason.
I've had that problem with polyurethane, but never lacquer.
I have had that problem with lacquer. It had, what was the wood again, Sheila?
It's birch.
Birch. Yeah, I had that problem with lacquer on Cocobolo, and I think it was an interaction with the oils in the wood. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but birch is not all that oily, so I don't know.
No.
I
Yeah.
suppose it could be tar or something, but
And that one has epoxy inside resin to seal it up.
Yeah.
So
So you can put water in it.
How'd you make the flutes?
it's just a little bit of alcohol dye that I just kind of wiped on, rubbed in.
No,
How'd you
the
carve-
actual
how'd
flute
you
at the
carve
top.
flutes? The top. How'd you carve the top? The flutes for the opening.
Just with a
Rotary?
sander and then some finishing with a Dremel
Okay.
a little bit.
Right on.
Well
done.
I'll do one more. This one is cherry that I did some painting on the top.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
That's nice.
It was kind of all lacquers that I just kind of dabbed on.
Really nice.
I don't want to follow her and show and tell either. Okay.
Oh, Brenda, you were
Put
doing
her on the
outstanding.
list.
Don't even be like that.
You got too many rules.
There's more laying around here, but I'll stop now. So.
Oh, great.
Stuff. Good stuff, Sheila. Thank you for sharing. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go to Mr. Johnson. Howard, I got
Hey,
you.
how we doing tonight?
Oh, we're all right, Howie.
Yeah, great. Challenge for this week for our this month for our club was to make a executive top. And what it is you, yeah, you said just do it, you twist it up and there's your top right there. This is made out of some pear, and I engraved it a little bit. It's kind of simple. Now I'm sure Bob Grinstead's going to put on something spectacular this week. Anyway, there's mine. Yeah,
probably will.
Long time ago, we had a challenge to make these things, and unfortunately, I don't remember how I did it. But this is walnut. This is walnut. Anyway, I thought, well, maybe I'll show this because it's kind of unusual, kind of neat thing. But like I said, I can't remember how I did it.
Does it walk on its own?
Yeah, it will. You give it a little shove, it'll go a straight line.
Yeah, just keep going. Good for you. Yeah, Heather has a video on that. I remember her playing it for us a couple years ago.
Yeah, I know.
I got a set of them. I drive you nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun to make.
Nice job, Howard.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't remember how to do it, but I did it. But I did it anyway.
Right.
And also, I did another bowl engraving.
Wow.
Wow. That's this is mesquite, and I did it on the Greek mythology this time.
Oh, very beautiful.
That's amazing. Centurons, and don't look at her; you'll turn into stone. But and then you got this and that and some other stuff, and then the rim you got these. This is a type of stuff they put on the top of their columns here. This is called top of columns, what it is, and this is a Greek alphabet character, and then I did some columns on the side too. They didn't turn out real well on top because of the angle of the laser, but it got the bottom parts pretty good. But the characters turned out real well. The mythology characters. So anyway,
Wow.
That's that one. So anyway, and that is the Python is what you would call it. Yeah.
Parthenon. Yeah.
What
What
kind of dye did you use?
Just transient dark red. It's
That's
an
pretty.
alcohol-based dye. That's what it is. So, and then I put about 3 or 4 coats of gloss clear enamel on it to give it the shine. So, but anyway, that's that. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Real pretty.
All right, thanks, Howard.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Go to Charlie.
Yes, sir. Can you find me?
Oh yeah, I got you. Hold on. Bringing you up now.
Well,
What
this
looks like,
week I
Charlie?
was bringing stuff out of the recovery room and cleaning up my floor. If you remember about 3 weeks ago, I showed a tall pendulum clock. Well, this was originally supposed to be one of the stems on it, and it went flying.
Oh no, turned into birdwood.
Yep. That's
Beautiful.
Oak and
Yeah.
birch. It's a
Nice
Celtic knot.
I see that.
Celtic?
Yeah.
Nice save.
It's with Easter coming. Just had a piece of scrap birch on the floor.
Very good.
Very nice.
I make my eggs a little larger. That way I can get more stuff in them.
More candy.
Candy, gift cards.
Nice.
Yeah, that last egg was birch. This one is red oak.
Ooh,
This is off of a branch.
Very
pretty.
nice.
Wow. Nice job.
And I'm talking about the test tube bases. This one is oak. You can't get my tubes out. I glue them in. I don't worry about them falling.
Good idea.
There you go.
Chicken.
If I figure if they break inside there, you take a drill and run it through it again. In a little box out of birch.
This is all from your slacker stack?
This is most of it is out of the recovery room stuff that's broke. I redo it into something else, and like the eggs are basically scraps off the floor. Excuse me, future projects off the floor.
There you go.
Just another piece of the same oak branch that the other one was made out of.
That's cool. I like the shape on that one.
Designed after the old milk can. And last but not least, it's an acorn. Except after this oak is, I mean, this is also red oak. It's been cut and drying for 3 to 4 years, and it fit nice and tight. I brought it in the house to put the finish on it, and it shrunk.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to run some super glue or something around it to see if I can get it to fit. That's all I have.
Very nice, Charlie.
Right. Thanks, Charlie. All right, let's get a little bit of safety moment in here. And Sue, I do have that follow-on video from last week that we were trying, or that I was trying to show what we can do as well.
Okay, we'll show that after we talk about tool safety, okay?
That sounds great.
Oh, show it now, show it now.
No, you do it now. You good?
Okay. We want to talk about,
You
What was
have
that?
the floor.
Thank
You got
you.
the floor.
Okay, and the air and the chair, I see, okay. We're talking about tool handling safety. First of all, you want your tool to be sharp, and you want to hold it firmly. And you want to use the opposite hand to hold the tool tight against the tool rest. If you use a dull tool, you're going to be pushing harder. It could slip. It could break the piece you're trying to turn, or if you slip, it could come and kind of nick you somewhere. So please make sure your tools are good and sharp. It's like any other pointy or cutting object you might have. Keep them sharp, because if they're dull, they're dangerous. With that 2 sentence, I went through most of the stuff that was on here. Keep the tool rest as close as possible to the blank. Now, they have a rule, it shouldn't be any more than a few millimeters from the blank. So folks, make sure that you're not trying to take that tool and let it stretch 3 or 4 plus inches from that blank. You want to keep it in the millimeters from the blank. But before you turn on that blank, you want to turn that headstock to make sure that headstock does not hit the toolbar. 1, it can mess up your gears. 2, it could break the blank. 3, it could go flying. So make sure that you turn it manually to make sure that it doesn't touch the tool blank, and then adjust the tool blank as necessary. Also, at first when I started, I had to remember, kiss the wood. Don't try to hog it out. If you kiss the wood, you're taking more patience with it. You're going to get better cuts or slices. don't try to hog it out because you can get hurt that way. Some woods won't take hogging out. So kiss your wood, whether you're using a gouge or any other tool that you might want to turn with. So on that note, I'm going to turn the floor over to Dane to show you one of the videos that was on YouTube last week. Take care, guys, and be safe.
All right, good stuff, Sue. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so
You're welcome.
we're back to me. Let's do a share screen. We'll do photos. And we'll scroll through here. Hopefully nothing is obscene. Instagram. No, where's it at? Give me a minute. Bear with me. Had it set up earlier. I don't know why it's not being available here.
I know just how this feels, Dan.
Huh?
I know just how this feels.
I know. Yeah, right.
Happens to me all the time.
Almost like doing
Been there, done that.
Always during a demo.
You got it.
That's right. That's right.
Your video is paused during mobile screen. Well, the damn thing won't play the video with me being on Zoom. Oh my goodness.
The icons below look more like photo icons, not video.
Well, those are Zoom icons.
But it was a video.
Right.
Anyways, guy was turning that, or I don't know whether he screwed it on tight enough or whatever, but the thing came off, hit him in the chest, and then climbed over his face mask, and then
Oh
into his,
yeah, it was wicked.
yeah,
But
yeah, it was wicked.
But he had it chucked up on a worm screw.
Is that right? I didn't see that part.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I paused it and did some screenshots on it.
Yeah.
That what you showed looked like a screenshot, not really a video.
Well, no, it said video is paused while you're on Zoom.
Paul Hannaby, did you show that a couple weeks ago? I saw that somewhere else.
What was that, sorry?
Did you show that video a couple weeks ago? We saw that somewhere else, didn't we? Of the piece coming off the lathe?
Oh yeah, Martin sent it to me. Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Okay.
So, yeah, sorry. I'll put it on the Facebook page. So if you're not a member of the group Facebook page, then go sign up, answer the questions, and you'll be able to get in and see it. Those that are already members, just go there and you'll be able to see it. But I'll post it either tonight or tomorrow morning. So with that,
one other thing, Brenda brought it to my attention not once, but twice, but 3 times. Our friends across the pond have made a safety song, and they made a second one.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen it, Brenda, I'm sure
it's also on the Facebook page.
Okay, so guys, go
all of them.
See that safety song.
Yep.
It also cost me a 2-hour conversation on the phone with Sue.
Oh, yeah, we did. We talked about it for 2 hours, and just caught up stuff. It was fun.
Atypical.
On the safety note, you might just say that big piece of wood that hit the guy, it wasn't because it was going too fast. It was spinning fast, but he was doing it on a worm screw. And when he shut the lathe off,
right,
the thing unwound. Yeah. And,
yeah. Well,
anyway, just that's the safety part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
The other one was a big buffing wheel that he had on the lathe, and when he turned it on, and it just came right off. But you said that was on a worm screw as well?
Yeah.
Well, the buffing one I didn't see, but this one was, with the big block of wood where it rolled up. He had it on a worm screw.
Oh gosh. Okay.
one, the piece was too large to be using a worm screw to begin with. And then two, the sudden killing the power on the lathe.
Yeah.
Just spun up. And the guy was lucky, needless to say.
Dane, do you have the person or any kind of link or information so that we could find it?
Yeah, I've got it in Messenger. I can send it to you.
Yeah, just put it in chat.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can copy the link and put it in chat. Yep, good idea. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
All right, so let's go across the pond to Mr. Hannaby. He has a video to play. He's going to introduce it and talk about it. So, Paul,
rather than just do a normal demo, I thought this might be of interest. It's a few short videos of a demonstration I saw at one of the AWGB seminars quite a few years ago now, by a Japanese turner, Yasuhiro Satake. He brought his lathe and all his kit with him to the UK and did a bit of a sort of tour. And one of his stops was at the seminar. So I'm just setting up a video here. Yeah, it's a few short videos of him turning on a Japanese style lathe using Japanese style tools. What I learned from watching the demo and the talk that went along with it was, generally speaking, the Japanese turners do an apprenticeship with a master turner, and it's quite a few years apprenticeship. They learn to make all their own tools, sort of using blacksmith techniques. So they're not just becoming a proficient turner, they're also learning how to make tools, etc., and sharpen all their own tools and things like that. I mean, from my perspective, I was interested in the differences not only between the tools, but the machine itself and how it's used, and just all the aspects of the way it works. And I thought you might like to see this, and maybe that will spark a bit of a debate and comments on that. So that's the plan. So they're all fairly short videos. I just videoed a few clips as I was watching this demo. Sadly, Yasuhiro is no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago, but the videos, I think, are definitely of interest and show a different side to the turning sort of internationally. So hopefully you'll enjoy watching them as well. So I'm just gonna do a share screen. Find the right one there. So there's the first one. I'll just hit play on that, and there is a little bit of sound with it. Might not be that good, but yeah, it was a few years ago I did these with a camera.
Sliding to us.
Well, that's the end of the first one. There are a few more. I'm just gonna go back to the beginning of that and pause it there. There's a couple of things I sort of noticed with watching this. If I just position just there, if you look at the bottom right at the lathe itself, either side of where that bowl is, there's a lever with a wire on it. One of those, I think, is for varying the speed of the lathe. The other one, I think, changes the direction from forward to reverse. And he's got foot pedals under the lathe, and he uses those to adjust the slip of the belt to adjust the speed and to also reverse the direction, because sometimes he's turning the front edge of the piece of wood and sometimes on the back edge, in which case the direction would be reversed. You've got a flat, effectively a flat table as the bed of the lathe there, and that tool rest is a wooden tool rest, not attached to the lathe in any way. It's just sat on that table and positioned where he needs it for the tool. I mean, as Matt said, the distance between the tool rest and the actual cut is considerable there, but you look at the length of that tool, he's got it back under his arm, tucked under his arm, so it's quite a long tool, so he's got a lot of leverage the other side of the rest as well, but he's using that tool sort of in a trailing mode. So I think he's coping with that overhang with the technique he's using. It obviously works for him, or it certainly did then. Yeah, a few things of note on that one.
Wait, is the chuck one of those cones, a sharp cone?
Yes, it's effectively a metal jam chuck.
Yeah, okay.
So this is the second video. I'll just pause it there. I'll just starting it up and getting it ready. But yes, it's a metal jam chuck, and the piece of wood is effectively hammered into that to start with. He turns the outside of the bowl, and then he'll turn the jam chuck and put the bowl into the jam chuck to turn the inside of it. So it's all done with jam chucks, and none of what we sort of use conventionally as a chuck or face plates and screw chucks and things like that. It's largely sort of simple jam chuck technique.
All friction fit.
But anyway, I'll play the second one. You see that right at the end of that video when he popped that piece of wood off. Let me just try and get the screen back. Right at the end there. Let it catch up. No, not going to see it. Get to the end of this one. There, where he takes it off, you've got a wooden block behind it with effectively a few pins. So that bowl was actually pressed onto those pins, and that piece of wood is in the jam chuck. So it's effectively nailed on in a way, I suppose, is the best way to describe that.
Wow.
And then he's levering it off that surface by levering it off the metal pins. So quite a different way of mounting that piece of wood, but obviously works for what he's doing there.
Before he took that piece off, he had like the end of a ruler or something. Is that a scraper or something?
That there, I think it's just a lever.
No, but he was using it as a tool before that.
Oh, right,
He was checking for flat.
Oh yeah. Looks, you're right. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right. It's just the handle of the scraper, because he's using it there as a little handheld scraper, isn't he? Yeah.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah.
No tool rest. That's interesting.
Yeah, just handheld. Yeah. I've seen that done before. I've not really tried it myself. I remember watching Mark Hancock in the UK doing a demo, and he just used an ordinary cabinet scraper on a lathe without it being on the tool rest. It was just handheld and trailing, and he was cleaning up, I think, the inside of a bowl or something like that with it.
I have done that also, using standard cabinet scrapers that we here in the West use.
Yeah.
I have a guy I know who was a longtime turner who also started off as a woodworker, a carpentry guy, had scrapers, cabinet scrapers in his toolbox, and he was just using them on the outsides of things.
Right.
He had no flat spots in these huge vases he was making because he was using a cabinet scraper to smooth out all the corners.
Yeah.
But no tool rest or anything. You do it freehand.
Yeah, and you gotta make sure you raised a burr on the edge of the scraper, so
Yeah.
you get the good clean shavings.
Oh
from
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Before I figured out how to get a clean cut off the gouge, I used to use a scraper on my vessels.
Yeah. I have in my toolbox somewhere a scraper I bought quite a few years ago now, and it's just a block of steel. It's thicker than the cabinet scraper. It's not flexible. It's solid, but it's just intended to be handheld. But I mean, I very rarely use it. Yeah, I can't remember where I bought it. I bought it from one of the UK tool manufacturers anyway, but I can't remember seeing them since. But they must be out there somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, it can be done. I think as long as you approach it in the right way and use them as intended, then the risks are minimal. But yeah, I think you have to be careful with anything handheld like that.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sorry, carry on.
I do know where mine are, and I have used them relatively recently.
Yeah.
I have both a rectangular one and one that's sort of a French curve. It's got curves edges. And
yeah,
and
the
they're
cabinet
great.
scraper, you usually get a set of 3, don't you? One that's rounded, one that's square, and one that's got
I
a bit
think
of
you're
a
right
bevel.
about that.
Yeah.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So if you
really like the curved ones because even the rectangular one is you can slightly curve it to follow the curvature of your piece.
Yeah.
You know, you get a nice clean
So when you use
even
them,
surface.
when you use them, you're going to have your lathe in reverse.
No, you
and
put
you're
your
up on
lathe
top-
forward.
Then you're up
you
on
put your
top of
lathe.
the- well,
No, you put
I'm
your
just
lathe
saying,
going forward,
the safe way to, Matt, please. So the safe way, that way the any chance of the tool getting a catch, it's going to go away from you because you're in reverse, as opposed to it going forward in normal rotation, where you can get a catch, and it's going to either pull you down or rip it out of your hands and come into your body. You know, that's my opinion. You know, whenever I've used scrapers, first 5-6 years when I first started turning, that's what I used to, to get rid of the bad spots on my ugly vessels at the time. And and it worked wonderfully. But I did it in reverse for the safety aspect of having the scraper go that way if it was going to get a catch. Sorry. Now go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, the way I was using it, I mean, the important thing is to have it trailing. So if whichever way you're rotating, I mean, I'm sure that it worked for you to go reverse and on the top. The way I used it was forward on the bottom. So if it does take it from you, it spits it out back. Either way, but you're underneath, on the bottom quarter of the piece. So it doesn't.
But having it underneath, you can't see what it's cutting.
Well, you can because you can still see the edge.
Well,
yeah, but
it's easier to look at the top as opposed to looking down at the bottom. But it's whichever way a person gets used to it.
Yeah, I do too.
I got a question for Paul. Paul, are all the tools that he has, are they all slightly bent at the top with different?
A lot of them seem to have that little right angle on the end with effectively a scraper tip. There were some that looked like they were scrapers and some that looked like it was a sort of a hook tool. But yes, there seems to be a bent or a curved part on the end of most of them. And as I say, they're all effectively blacksmith made. They all make their own tools. So that's part of their sort of apprenticeship, is to learn how to make good tools and to heat treat them and all that.
Yeah, and here it looks like he's using a larger bowl for a jam chuck. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there he's got one bowl jammed into another effectively. The outer one is the jam chuck. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, what he used to do was make a lot of the lacquerware, as they call it, the rice bowls and things like that, the rushu bowls, I think they call them. And he would make thousands of those in a year. That was his full-time thing, and him and his family would make thousands of those and lacquer them. And this is how they make them, I think.
Sure, probably is. Probably faster this way for them, just like the two
Yep,
pins or the 4 pins.
I'll
Knock
play
that block on the pin.
Yep.
And you're right, Martin. This guy's
You
probably
see
done
now
it
that
so
lay's
long.
running the other way and he's cutting at the back.
Yeah.
Now what he's got there, it looks a little bit like a hook tool. It's similar but not quite the same, I would say. See there in the front of that shot there, you can see the tips of a few of those tools.
One thing about his jam chuck, you don't have to worry about that top edge flexing on you so much. You know, when it gets thin.
Cut so well.
That one. I was interested on that one, I think, just seeing him sharpening the tool. It was in the middle somehow. Around here. Is it? Oh, look. Hang on, let's skip back to the first one over. That one, wasn't it? One the bit where he does the sharpening. I've gone past it. There. There, he's sharpening the tool there on a flat stone, just sharpening it by hand. And then back to the cut.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not using the grinder like we do, just sharpening them all on a flat stone. So yeah, interesting to see that.
It is very interesting.
Got another one. Here's the next one. So he appears to be dipping that in water or oil or something before he sharpens it.
If you had 20 to 25 degrees but much lower humidity, it wouldn't cure. It's a combination of the humidity and the heat, and then it cures.
He's getting a good cut with that tool, whatever he's sharpened it with.
It's not simply a matter of drying. On this first coat that's been put on, I mean, you're working really from, it's that kind of difference. That's just a plain piece of.
Do you know what the wood is? Is it something special?
Not sure now.
Seal up the wood really, and he'll show you that you can use turf or turf substitute to dilute the dilute.
It might have been. I mean, it looked a light coloured wood, so whether it was sycamore, something like that, or what we call sycamore, or the American sycamore. Looking through. I'll find the next one. You see that lever going up and down on the end of the lathe there. He's actually changing the speed of rotation. See that lever going up and down and the speed changing?
Yeah.
I think because it's turned quite thin, he's adjusting the speed to minimize any vibration and resonance there.
I might put one of those on my Powermatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so different.
What's wrong with that?
Right, one more. This is the last one, I think. This is a short one as well. So he's just finishing off the foot there. And again, he's got the legs running backwards now, I think, just to do that last cut. So that was the last one.
Very good. Very good.
Great job, bro.
I've also got a few photos here, so I'll put those up as well. Hopefully they should appear. So these are he brought some pieces over and put them in the the traveling gallery at the seminar. So I'll just switch my screen share now.
So he never sanded them, did he? He went straight from there to finish?
Yeah, it just seems to be a cut off the tool, basically. Yeah, that's the finish.
Wow.
But get a very
No injury to sink.
finish on there. But is it that one? Or is it that one? I'm just trying to find the right window. Seem to have this open twice up for somewhere.
Paul, what was his name?
Yasuhiro Sataki. I'll spell it if you like.
Never mind.
Right, can you see that?
Oh, wow.
Those were a few of his bowls, and they're lacquer. The ones at the back are lacquer.
Japanese
The
lacquer.
at the front are just natural wood with a clear lacquer, but the ones at the back, it's the traditional Japanese lacquer, which comes from the tree, doesn't it? It's a tree sap, I think they use, and they actually paint it on with brushes made from human hair because it gives you very fine bristles, apparently. And there's many coats of lacquer on these things.
Very smooth.
The level of finish is incredible on these, and a few other pieces there. So some of them are just nice pieces of work, but yeah, there's a few lacquered ones as well.
There's the guy's name.
And those are just little sort of teapot type things. I mean, that looks like, I think it's £159, so that's got to be about $200, but this is 15 years ago. So
Wow.
yeah, that was what it was worth then, I suppose. I was going to try and do one of those myself, actually. It's multiple coats of lacquer, and then he's cut back through to expose different colors of lacquer at different points. So it's putting on loads of coats of lacquer and taking it back selectively to get that sort of patterning, which would be quite a interesting one to do. So I've bought some like red and black lacquer. I was going to have a go at something like that, but I haven't got around to it yet. So watch this space. Maybe one day soon.
Is that Yoroshi?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it is. And there's that one there, which is just a nice piece of wood. He's turned it, obviously, but it's like a square flask, and the top is a lid. I think I only took that one photograph of it, but it was just an incredibly figured piece of wood. So I thought it was worth a photograph just for that. Yeah, some nice pieces of work that he brought with him. So I think that's about all I've got. So I hope that was of interest.
Yeah, that was nice.
Definitely new.
Lots to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the other countries turn, with less than what we have. We think we have to have the best tool or the right tool, and they don't. They've got pretty primitive things, or most of these countries do.
Yeah, I think culturally the Japanese seem to have some very skilled artists in the sort of the creative world, whether it's turning or pottery or other arts and crafts, but they still seem to effectively have the approach where they value that, and people will put the time in to learn with an apprenticeship through a master, whether it's making wooden bowls like that or any of the other arts and crafts. But I think perhaps, here in the UK, I think that's lacking in some ways. It's very difficult to get an apprenticeship in something like that here, that's for sure.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
It's real interesting.
Yeah, that was cool.
Did you have anything to show, Paul?
Yeah, I've got a couple of bowls here. Yeah. I did a couple of demos recently on coloured and textured bowls. This was one of the demo pieces I made.
Oh,
it's a sycamore bowl. Well, this is English sycamore, not American sycamore. So there is a difference, but they are related. They're all of the Acer family. But yeah, what we call sycamore isn't the same as what you guys in the States call sycamore. It's slightly different. But yeah, so it's of that family. The outside is textured. If I get that a little bit closer, you can see it's got a bit of texture to it. And the way I do these, it's coated with acrylic gesso, and then that one has got like a stipple texture. And then I spray it with airbrush acrylics. So I've just got red and blue on that one, and spray them and get a sort of graduated effect. Then I've got another one here. This one also is sycamore. So inside plain wood, and on the outside you can see the texture. But what I've done with that one is actually, once I sprayed the color on, I've got white gesso as the base. I've just gone over it with a 400 grit abrasive just to take the color off the peaks of the texture. So you've got white flecks highlighting the high points on the texture. So it just changes the tone of it slightly.
That's really Paul, can you tell me how you created that texture? Is it just mucking about with the paint, with the gesso?
No, it's a really difficult process. Very complicated. You slap the gesso on with a cheap brush. You get a bit of kitchen towel, and you stick it on and peel it off, and then you stick it on and peel it off. You keep doing that until it looks right. So that's it, basically.
Okay, that's a process.
That actually came out of a mistake. The way I make these, I do it while the inside's still solid. That's on a screw chuck. But when you put the gesso on, it takes a good hour plus to dry, at least to touch dry. So what I do is I loosen it on the screw chuck, so I can just get my finger and thumb like this on the outside of the piece of wood to take it off the screw chuck while it's still wet. And I was doing a trade show and doing this demo at this trade show, and I put this piece of wood on, I turned the outside, and I did the gesso without loosening the screw chuck. And then I thought, now I've got to get that off because I need to do something else. I can't leave it there for the next hour to dry because I'm in the middle of a demo at a trade show. So I put a piece of kitchen towel over it so I could grab the thing to loosen it off the screw chuck. And then I peeled the kitchen towel off, thought, I quite like that texture. So I did the rest of it and made everyone think it was deliberate.
Perfect.
But I've used it ever since. But on some of these bowls, I do, I'm just trying to replicate the effect of ceramics where they just turn it after they've thrown it. And all I do with that is I put the gesso on, and then with a stiff brush, I just run the lathe slowly, and it has to be slowly, or you end up with a big white stripe down your shirt. because the gesso will come off if you're going over about 200 RPM. Or it'll start throwing bits of it off, so you end up with a stripe. But yeah, you run it slow and you just drag a brush across the surface, a coarse brush. So you want a cheap brush with thick bristles, stiff bristles, basically. So you put some texture into it with the with the brush. And also I use other things for texture. I've got an afro comb. You can see I've got no use for an afro comb really, but I use it on the piece of wood to texture it. So you put the comb against the surface and then move it around and put it on, and it gives you coarser lines. So it's just a more sort of defined texture. In fact, I've got a couple of bowls in the workshop that are half done with other textures on it. I'll run down and grab those if you like, and I'll bring those up and show you them. But the outside's coloured, but they're still solid. I've not turned the inside yet. So if you give me 2 minutes, I'll just go and grab those and come back.
Sure.
Nice
Yeah,
job.
okay.
They're super good.
You're gonna
That
show
stuff is really cool. Very interesting when you're looking at another country and how they do stuff.
Oh, for sure.
What's the name of that young fella? He might be older, but that does those tall vases with the ruffled edges, and he does columns, and his lathe is on the floor.
Bam.
Yeah.
Sam Tuck,
Yeah, where
Vietnamese guy.
is he in Vietnam? Okay.
Yeah, he's from Vietnam. Yeah, he's quite the character.
Has stuff on every wood turning page on YouTube or Facebook. Every single
Yeah,
one.
like just like the rest of us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it that he's showing more things now. He didn't used to show platters and bases and stuff, but
right. And his hats and his pots. Yeah, and that red stuff, you know, the big columns that he makes, that's all product. Paduk, however you say it, from
Hadouk,
where
yeah.
you're from.
yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't know what they do
That
with the
lit
columns,
and that
but
no, that's exactly what it is. I talk with him every now and then on Messenger, and his lathe is bolted or not bolted; it's poured in the floor. You know, so it's that lathe of his it doesn't go anywhere. All right, Paul, you got the floor.
He turned some awful big logs.
Yeah, he sure does.
Okay, I'm back. Got the other bowls now. So this one here, this one's made of pine. So just ordinary like this. I think it's yellow pine, so it's sort of almost furniture grade, but pine all the same. But that one, the texture on it is done with a coarse brush, so you can see the lines.
And can you pull it back just a little bit to get it in focus, maybe?
There you
go.
Wow.
So you can see the lines in there, and this I've used yellow, orange, and purple as the colours on this one.
Pretty.
So yeah, acrylic airbrush paints, acrylic gesso, and then I put an acrylic lacquer over the top. But I'm just using the satin lacquer. I don't really want a high gloss on these, so I just use a satin lacquer. And this one,
that's
here,
great.
those
are great, Paul.
Thanks. This one's an afro comb texture, so again, lines but a bit coarser. So I'm just holding an afro comb against it as it's spinning slowly to put those lines in. You can use things like tile adhesive spreaders, all sorts of things like that. Bubble wrap, you name it. So there's all sorts of things you can do to put textures on this. The gesso sort of got the consistency of yogurt. So you can put a bit of texture into it and then let it dry. So
how's the dexterity of the paint? You know, the ridges, do they hold up the handling?
Oh yeah. I mean, once this is dry, it's quite durable. But yeah, I mean, initially it is soft for a good couple of hours. I mean, I did this demo last Friday down at Yandles in Somerset. It's one of the local sort of say local, it's 100 miles away from here, supplier of timber and tools and all that sort of thing. And they have a last Friday of the month sort of a late opening and a demo. So I went down to their store and did a demo in the store. And I made one of these and I put the gesso on and I tried to dry it fast. So I got a hot air paint stripper and blasted it with hot air. But I've learned from experience, if you overdo that, you actually blister and bubble it. So you've got to put a little bit of heat in just to dry the paint fast, but not so much heat that you blister it. So I was just being sort of fairly cautious with that, and I had it on a low heat setting, and I managed to dry this thing as I was talking to the crowd in probably 5 minutes. It was touch dry, and I could spray it. Otherwise, got to leave it for an hour or two. No, it doesn't chip very easily, Gary. It's pretty durable stuff once it's on. I mean, occasionally I'll turn these off. I'll do a color combination or something I don't like, or I make a mistake, or something goes wrong, and I'll turn it off and just redo it. And it's actually quite tough to get off. It takes the edge off your tools. It's I mean, it's acrylic base, but it's got plaster of Paris in it, and it does make it quite hard. And it certainly takes the edge off your tools when you're turning it off if you have to do that.
Paul, can you show the retro purple and yellow bowl again, please?
Yep. But where these came from originally, this is sort of based on inspiration from sky colors, sunsets, sunrises. So this is one of those orange, yellows, purples. I've got like the red and the blue, and I've got other combinations as well that are based on sunrise and sunset themes. I can find my
for your when you turn the tenon off, that'll be bare wood then, or will you go back in and
the foot will be bare wood and the inside of the bowl will be bare wood. I mean, this
Right
one
on.
here I've finished. You can see there the bottom's bare. I've not actually signed it yet, but I will do. And the inside and the rim, because I painted at this stage, and then you cut away the top so you get a real clean edge, like on that. So it gives you a nice crisp edge on the color without having to mask it. So I find it easier to do that way around. Plus, if it's still solid, if you don't like it, like I say, you turn it off and do it again.
Right. So for your surface, what kind of surface are you looking for off the tool? How much sanding are you doing before you?
I'll sand it to 180. That's it. I don't want to sand it ultra fine because you actually want a bit of a key for the gesso.
Right.
I'll just pulling out a page on my website. I'll just put that on screen share as well. These are a few bowls that I made a while back. Same process. The one top right, that light yellow and blue one, that was oak, and you can actually see the rays coming through the oak. It's coming through the gesso and through the color. Down there, there's a couple more, same sort of process, a green and a yellow, and a sort of a pinkish blue one there. Again, sky colors is what's the inspiration there. That's very similar to the one I've got here. Actually, it's slightly different colors, but similar process. This one, the purple and blue one there. So yeah, it's one I've been doing for quite a long time, but I'm still coming up with different combinations of textures and colors. I think the sky's the limit, really. You can see there's an orange and purple, orange, yellow, purple one, similar to the one that's here, but that's a bit more toned down on the color. But yeah, the shape on these, Ruby, it's all made to work with what I'm doing. I mean, if you look at one of these bowls, that one, for example, because I'm putting all the effort in on the outside of the bowl rather than the inside, I'm turning the top edge in. So when you're putting that down, your eye is drawn to the outside. If this was a conventional bowl that just swept out and was at a shallower angle on the edge, you see more of the inside. But turning that edge in, you emphasize the outside. And as that's where I'm putting all the effort in with the coloring and texture and whatever, that's what I want. So that shape is picked at the top for that reason. And at the bottom, I'll put a slight reverse curve on there, which both lifts the foot slightly. And also at the point where you cut the foot clean like that, you're cutting through that line of gesso and paint almost at right angles. So it leaves a very narrow line of white that, I mean, even here, looking at it, I can't see it. If I've got a shallow edge on the edge of the bowl here and cut through it, you get a much wider line. So you see the white. So again, the shape is sort of evolved to work with what I'm doing with it.
Well
So
done.
that's why they're the shape they are, and I usually do them this shape, different proportions. I do them deeper, wider. This is a smaller, probably one of the smaller ones. This one's what, 6 inches or so. I go up to about probably 10 inches with these. Maybe a 10x4 blank is the biggest I'll go with these. But yeah, they're interesting things to do, and I usually go for fairly plain pieces of wood, so sycamore, the pine, anything like that. I'm not looking for highly sort of figured pieces of wood with lots of character. It's the basic blanks that haven't got a lot going for them anyway, and they lend themselves to being coloured. I mean, I wouldn't pick up a piece of burr and do that to it. I'll just let it speak for itself. But with a plain piece of wood like this, then you can play with it and do all sorts, can't you?
Hey, Paul, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I got an opening on the 28th. Can you do a demo on that?
What, 28th of March?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me check my calendar.
There's only 100 of us here. We're close to
All
it.
right.
No
No
pressure.
pressure.
Paul.
Right. Thanks, Sue. No pressure.
You're welcome. Thanks, Dane.
Just like the pot, you know. Click, click,
I
click.
can't actually, no.
Oh no.
I'm busy that week. Another week,
later,
yes,
Paul.
but not
It's
that
all
week.
good. We'll talk later. Yeah, it might still be too cold for you.
No, it's not
That's
that. I mean, I was in my workshop
that's an
today.
inside
Actually.
joke, and that's an inside joke, and I'll cue you in on it later.
All right, okay. Yeah, I'm happy to do it, but yeah, not on that particular date. Yeah, so we'll come up with another date anyway. We'll fit it in somewhere.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think the group would like to see a demo on that.
Yeah,
if I can get a bunch of eyes, that'd be great.
They just want to see me get covered in white gesso so I forget to turn the lathe down.
Yeah.
Y'all want to see Paul do this or not? Speak out.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right.
Of course.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
it'll be a bit of a
90
mix.
of you there, you're being crickets.
It'll be a mixture of doing the gesso texture, and I can show you a few different textures as I go through. And what I normally do is prep a couple of these bowls so I've got the texture and it's dry, and then I can put some color on. So I'll set up a couple of these ready to color and show you a bit of the airbrushing side of it as well as the gesso and the texture. So
cool. Hey, Paul, what do you guys call that when you say here's how you do the texture and then voila, here it is dry? What do you call that when there's a jump?
Oh yeah, usually we call it a Blue Peter.
There you go, Blue Peter. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a kids program, and they always used to have a prepared one. Sort of, you go so far, and then here's one I prepared earlier. That was their sort of catchphrase almost. So over here they call it a Blue Peter moment or something like that. Here's what I made earlier.
Yeah.
If we had a kids show called Blue Peter, there'd be problems.
Keep it classy.
Right? Head out of the gutter.
Hey, Paul, do you always airbrush those bowls, or do you sometimes just brush the paint on?
I pretty much always airbrush because I quite like blending colors and fading like this one, fade one into the other. And I find that just works really well with airbrushing. And also, you can do to an extent, you can do shading with airbrushing. If you want a really light color, you just don't put much on. You want a darker color, you put more on and make it more intense. So, I mean, like on here, I've gone sort of almost from full on blue there, fading it out as I went there, and on the other side, full on red, and then fading it out where they cross, you're getting a bit of both. But if I get that right, some people say it almost looks like it's on fire because you've got the red coming up through the blue.
Right.
So that's quite a popular one. People like that where you've got the red and a darker color above it, and the red makes it sort of look like almost like it's on fire. So yeah, it's, I didn't think of that when I made it. Actually, I just like the color combination, but somebody pointed that out to me at an exhibition. I thought, yeah, actually, it does.
Right on.
It seems like you guys over there on the other side of the pond are all dyeing and painting bowls. Do you guys eat out of these dyed and painted bowls, or are they all decorations?
No, I mean, these are intended just to be decorative. That's a a sanding sealer wax finish on the inside, so that's not going to withstand putting liquids in it or washing it or anything like that. So really, this is just intended as a decorative thing. You can put dry things in there, yeah, but not really intended as a food bowl. But I do make a lot of natural wood bowls without colour. I still like a nice piece of wood and do things with it. If I've got a nice piece of wood, piece of burr or something like that, or a nice figured piece of wood or something with sort of striking colours, then yeah, I'll go with what's there. But for things like this, I'm deliberately targeting the plainer pieces of wood, which is generally the cheapest pieces as well. So you don't want to use an expensive piece of wood for this. You're using the cheaper end of the market in terms of the timber supplies.
Yeah, I found at the venues that I'm normally at, it's easier to sell bowls that can be eaten out of, and it's more fun to make the colored bowls, and people love them when you give them to them. But it's easier to sell the ones that are just that are not colored.
I mean, I sell quite a few of the coloured ones as well. If I put out both on my display, which I do when I do exhibitions, I've got some coloured and some plain. I'd probably sell as much of the coloured as I do of the plain ones.
Yeah, I think it's just because I'm in a
more colored.
There's a bunch of rednecks where I'm at.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I used to have some work in a gallery that was fairly close to here. They closed down a while back now. And the lady that ran this gallery, initially, I took a whole load of different stuff to her and said, this is what I got. And she was picking out like the natural wood bowls and things like that, and the burrs and things like that. And I showed her a few of the coloured bowls. She said, no, I'm not really into that. So it was just the plain wood. But after I'd been there a few months, and she sort of, I think, probably learned to trust me a little bit better, maybe. I said, do you want to try a couple of these coloured bowls? And she said, oh, yeah, okay then. So I put them in there, and a week later she phoned me up, said, yeah, sold both of those, can I have some more? So I converted her and persuaded her that they were sort of a line that would sell. So once she was convinced that they would sell, she was happy to put them in.
Yeah, cool.
Where the chimpanzees, there was.
Pardon?
That was Dane. I had to mute Dane again.
All right, okay.
We're talking chimpanzees.
He's playing with his chimpanzee.
I've got one other thing to show you as well. Nothing to do with bowls.
Would your wife just call you Dane?
It wasn't directed at me.
I can't remember whether I showed you this before. I might not have done. I made these just after Christmas, so I might not have done. But I bought a laser cutter engraver, and I've started making these. So that's got all the angles for setting up a table on the grinder, and you've got like 2 angles on each corner, so you can use it that way up or that way up on the corner, and it's got all the angles printed on it, and on there is also which tools I grind at which angles, and a hole to hang it up even. So yeah, I've used sort of gauges that I made previously, and each of these angles I had a separate gauge, like a pencil sized piece of plastic or card with the angles on, but this one, it's all of them on one piece. So I got 8 different angles on there, so you got 2 on each corner, and that gives me all the angles I use. So it's quite a easy tool for setting the angles on the corners.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah, I spent a bit of time over Christmas playing and doing the drawing for that, and then refining it, and actually got to sort of the new year, and then sort of I think I've cracked the drawing and printed a few out, and a couple of prototypes, tweaked it a bit after the prototypes, and now I've got hopefully a working model.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yep.
That's great. Good stuff. Brenda, can you highlight Captain Eddie, and let's go back to Captain Eddie and get his thoughts on the demo and everything that we've seen so far in the program?
Well, where'd he go? There he was.
There I am. I changed back. What? Can we get
Thanks,
that?
Paul.
All right. Paul. All right. Don't know if I can do this. Hey, that's me. Yeah.
There you are.
All right. There you were. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back. Oh God, they replaced me with Billy. Uh talk about scary. Uh that scare anybody. No kidding. Hey folks, we've got a lot of things going on. We've been in Britain for the last hour or so, talking with Paul Hannaby. He's a creative wood turner, and he's done some great demos for us and shared a lot of information. And we're going to get one of these demos for us from him on how to do this painting and stuff. It's a unique process, and some good questions came out just now. Do you use an airbrush? Well, most folks that do shading, yes, they like the airbrush, and they've mastered it. They've played with it. Never play with it on the wood you want to try it on. Always have a spare piece. Yeah, whatever you turn.
Good advice. Yeah.
Pardon?
Good
Yeah.
advice.
Create a piece that you can do, finish it the same way, sand it the same way, put the primer on it the same way, put the gesso on it the same way, everything the same on the second piece. That's where you test. Don't test on that piece. You got all those hours and time and wood in. And then you can play with it, see about shading and cleaning and stuff. And oh yeah, by the way, if you get into airbrushing, get into airbrush cleaning, because your worst enemy is what you don't get rid of. Because the least little thing you'll be amazed of is when you pick it up and it goes just like that. And it all of a sudden you're halfway through a piece and you can't do your shading because your brush is clogged or gummed up or whatever. So you'll learn some tips and tricks, but practice beforehand. I loved it. I always had an airbrush with a finish on it hanging in the shop to where I always had sealer in it or something that I could spray on something just to get a bulk coat on so I don't get handle oil and stuff. So we shared a lot of tips and tricks here tonight, and we continue to do that. Remember, the basis of this entire format is to share information. Now I'm going to share this with you. Our newsletter, issue number 5, came out yesterday. It's on our website for you to get. Do me a favor when you get it, share it. Yes, it is an open newsletter. It's not restricted. It's not locked down. It's not copyrighted or whatever. It's not. This is an open document, so you can share it with every wood turner in the entire world. And we'd like you to do that. You've got articles written by wood turners. You've got a newsletter that's been published by a member of our club that's a volunteer. And all this goes on to, a website created by a volunteer. And probably the best website you will ever find dealing with wood turning. And it's right here on the program number 230 of a club that probably should have never happened. But it's here because of you. And we want you to help us make this grow. Yes, we're talking about March. What is the date? I'm going to get the date right.
March 13th.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about now. March 13th.
March 13th.
That's when we go to your shop. Yeah, your shop right there. And we find out what your tips and tricks are. Yeah, you got those little tips and tricks. Every week we see somebody come up with, oh yeah, you know how I do this? You saw one tonight. Tim the Outlaw Hatch. Yeah. Watch him. I think he's the guy that set the fires in Texas. I'm not sure, but I mean, the word's out. But Tim came up with this thing to help stabilize a deep vessel when you turn the spigot off of it. That was a nifty piece you did there. And I know, I love it. You know, I made one like that, very much like that. I had a hard time finding a 5/8 inch all thread rod. And I wanted mine to be 5/8 because that would fit through the headstock of my one way. Yeah. And I figured if I got 5/8 all thread rod, I could stick it through my, and then I had all this adjustment and all this. And it was a nifty idea. It was a program that I could use. And guess what? Variations, if you did need one 10 inches long, cut it down the length of all thread. Yeah, when you buy it, buy a good bit. And then look at the ends. You can create different ends and different textures on how to hold things. We're going to find out a whole lot more about that on March 13th when Tim joins us. But then we're going to sneak, and if you don't tell them, we can get there. I got a deal cut with Rita. Rita's going to let us in through the back door, right through the garage. And we're going to be in Jim Duxbury's shop. Yeah, I'm going to look through Jim Duxbury's shop and see what he came up with. But to top that, we're going to see what Billy Burt has copied from Jim's shop. You see how this works? You see how this works? You come up with something, and Jim's a genius. He comes up with this great idea, and Billy says, "Yeah, but," and then we got to put the screws back in it. And so that's coming up on March 13th. A great day. You want to see that. If you miss it, it'll be recorded just like everything else. It's on the world's greatest wood turning website right here. And if there's a program you miss, you didn't miss it. You just got to catch it on a delayed program. A webmaster works his butt off. In about 2 days, he gets the whole thing organized, puts it on there. Even the chat. See, tonight we're talking about the little glass vessels that you get to put inside to put flowers in and make the little vase. Yeah, I had the same problem finding mine. I found mine at a dental supply place. Why would it at the dental supply place? I don't know. But I was renovating the building and said, "Hey, what are those things?" And I mooched them. But hey, to be honest. But that information, where to get them? Before we got done talking about it, Matt Harbor put it in the chat tonight, where you can get it at. And then before that was over with 3 or 4 other members threw their information in the chat. So every once in a while, you get folks that jump up and say, "Oh, I got this." Don't keep it to yourself. Before you got an idea, you got a thought, put it in the chat. Before you leave at night, save the chat, but save it just before you leave. If you save it too early, what happens after that won't get saved. Do you follow along with that? Okay. But we do that each week. It's sharing information. And what I love about this is not a moment goes by here each Wednesday night. This is number 230, remember? A moment doesn't go by where something doesn't come up where you don't go, why not think of that? Why not think of that?
Right.
And it's so great. You know why you didn't think about that? Because a long time ago, nobody had this. A whole bunch of friends that involved in wood turning, not money, not clubs or organization, or anything else. A whole bunch of folks said, "Hey, can we go sit on a tailgate and talk for a couple hours?" And that happens right here. No restrictions, no guarantee. Yeah. If you don't like what's happening, help us change it. See how hard it is? You don't like it? Help us change it. That's it. Y'all got some.
That's the truth.
I see some really strange stuff going in the chat tonight. Really.
And that's solid info.
Yeah, it's having a fun time. Great demo from Paul. Appreciate that. It's just part of the crew that we have. I see some of our members from other countries have banged out tonight because, what Paul said, it's probably 2:00 in the morning, and he's stuck with us.
Yeah.
Martin was with us earlier. I don't know if he's hanging in there, but we have these folks. We support their clubs. They support our clubs.
Yep.
And if you have an IRD, a remote demonstration that you host or put on, we really doesn't matter to Worldwide Woodturners what it's for or what it causes or if it's got a cost or anything to it. It doesn't matter to us. We're not sticklers for that. We don't say if you don't belong, you can't do it. No, if it's wood turning, put it in the chat. I don't know if we can make it any simpler than that. This is all about wood turning. And if you want to get today, I went to Sam's. Now, for me to go into a retail store is a challenge. got a problem, okay? And I went into Sam's. I only went as far as the aisle where they sell T-shirts. My wife picked out some T-shirts from me because I want to have my shirt with the screen print on it, Worldwide Woodturners on the front and back, and I had to go pick the right shirt. It says I never go in retail stores for anything. That was my chance. Well, today I went and got it. So I'm going to go to the website, our website, and I'm going to get the information on how to mail it to Scott. I'm going to send my shirt with the envelope in payment, and I'm going to get my shirt done. I'm hoping I can con the wife into 2 shirts, and get on to him. And because I picked a shirt with a hat of the right color, because I got the hat done by Amazon. Just got it, and I see who did it. Yeah, I saw one of my other new members got hers on and showed it. Jan, maybe it was. Showed the new hat she had this week. Really nice done. The way we get it hats, and that was on our website, and it can be available if you need details. We can get them to you. But you order the hat. You go to Amazon. We tell you where it's at, and you use the logo. We will give you the logo, tell you where it's at on our site, and then you put them together and you pay Amazon, and they ship it to you. My last hat cost me $6.80. Yeah. It's not an embroidered hat. It's not with the patch on it. It's got a sticker on it. But I ride, I've been in the rain with mine and it's holding up. It's doing all right. But for what I have invested in it, I'm kind of happy with it. And then if you want to get something embroidered, and I've got a vest being embroidered right now, we have the embroidered patterns on our website and they're free. Bob Grinstead had them created. So if you had a home embroidery or your sister-in-law does, you know the deal, got to ask a little favor, but turn them something for it. And go get it. We can get the pattern right there or take it to your local embroidery shop. Our patterns work on their machines. Don't get conned up. They work. They really do. And we have stickers. Yeah. I did that today. Here they are. Yeah. Not my regular spot tonight. That's our stickers. 3-inch vinyl stickers. Yeah, I can get you 10 of these for $5. If I got to ship them overseas, I got to get another buck. But send me the money, and I'll send you the stickers. Just that simple. If you want to how they look, when you see Band-Aid's Brenda, you're doing a chair right there behind her, right there. And on all we're trying to get them on every lake in the world that does a demonstration for us. That's the goal. That's Dane's goal. Really, every lake that you see in our meetings will have a Worldwide Woodturners sticker on it because we're proud of what we do. So it's top of the hour again. Time to do a little more gallery tonight. If you have something to show, you have to put it in chat. Say, I have something to show. And we'll call on you. When we call on you, start speaking to us because there's a whole pile of people out there. And we got to look through the chart and see what little squares, yellow or whatever, so we can pick you out of the crowd. Have your camera turned on and be ready to go. And this is worldwidewoodturners.org. Dane, are we ready for your gallery?
Yeah, we are. We got a couple more names that we can call on.
Let's go.
On tips and tricks. But back on tips and tricks for March 13th. I need to get some folks, to start speaking up and volunteering to say, hey, I got something really cool to show the rest of the group. Reach out to me. You're on Facebook. Message me. Here in the forum, state that you've got something in the chat, and that way I can get you scheduled. Otherwise, I'm going to be cold calling and breaking the glass again and getting folks indoctrinated to talking on the camera, or otherwise you guys are going to have your video off and not participate, one or the other. So
got to look in the shop.
But we need folks to let us know that you got something really neat and really cool that that you've came up with that's helped you, because it's going to help us as well. So let me know.
If he's not on the list, let me commit Matt Harbor to it. Okay.
Oh yeah, Matt's on the list.
He's on the list, all right.
He's
he's going to have some.
Standard. That's a standard tool. Got something crazy.
He's got some weird.
I built something really cool this week in the shop. So using those spring loaded pins. So.
Oh, nice. Good,
Cool.
good.
And then I'm pretty sure
we have so much information that comes out on this show. I find it hard to believe that, folks aren't, leaving the meeting or after they're done watching it on the rerun on YouTube, they're not going back and recreating and improvising and improving on what they've seen. So, we'd like to see it, let us know, invite us into your shop and share a few minutes, and it's painless. Trust me. All right, let's go back to gallery. Let's see, Leonard Davis.
Yep, I'm here.
There we go. Thank you. We got you.
So one of the pieces I showed last week was this one here. I actually went back to the local consignment craft shop and bought another piece. I actually messaged the guy who makes these. It's literally $10 there. He has sandstone, marble, granite for $10. And then so I turned another piece, another trivet. I kind of made a mistake early on. I turned the bottom so that the foot was way back here, and when I set it up, it was kind of you put something heavy on it. I was afraid it was going to tip over, so I had to go back and reshape the bottom of it to make it a little more stable. But it's literally leftover pieces of poplar from a job where I made custom shelves and a $10 piece of granite. So hopefully I can. He's actually messaged me back, telling me that if I want bulk pricing, he's willing to do bulk pricing, but I want to kind of see what I can sell before I start doing spending a lot of money on something that I'm not sure will sell. So, but that's all I get this week. Just the one.
Beautiful.
That's cool, man.
Okay, right on. Thank you. All right, let's go to Mr. Burt. Billy.
We've heard Ed say a bunch of times, oh, this is just a piece of ash juniper, no big deal. But we've heard Eddie say many, many times, if you can hold it, you can turn it. So how do you hold something like this? Or one end is easy because it's attached one way or the other. But what do you do about the other end? Do you just hand sand it and hope you get it nice and round and smooth, or what? And I'll show this again in a little more detail in March, but the question has come up before, how do you hold this or how do you do that? And my comment has often been, well, you basically you make a homemade collet chuck. Well, how do you do that? You take a junky piece of wood like this piece of Texas persimmon. You cut a bunch of slots in it after you make it round, and then you turn this to fit whatever it is that you want to hold. And I just tighten it up with a screw, with a
band clamp,
with a hose clamp, band clamp. Thank you. Now, here's the tricky part. This doesn't fit in there real well. It's concave on the inside, and you can see this isn't going in. So it takes a little doing to get it in there. But once you get it in, and I already had this side finished, so I was holding it over here, and I needed this nice and round. And no, this is not going to be an Easter egg. This is for something else. You'll see later. But once you get it in there, when I was test fitting, I forgot to think about that. And so how do you get it out?
I love it. I love it. This has been englued in the face.
So I couldn't get it out. So thankfully, my homemade thin parting tool is the same diameter as my bandsaw kerf. And I was able to stick it down in there and wiggle this out. I had to do some resanding on it afterwards because it made some marks on it, but I did get it out. But how you fix that? It's really pretty simple.
Yeah.
And I should
Yeah,
have done
Matt
that
put the,
before I
Matt put
tried it.
the answer in the, yeah.
So I've got a chuck. I mean, I've got this set for my jaws on my chuck. So drill a hole and use a wooden dowel and gently push it out. So that's, and again, I'll show this in a little more detail. I've got a couple of these and some other things that I'll show in March, but
Hole in a head expression comes to mind with that, you know.
Go. Don't do that behind
but
a
do
shower
that,
curtain.
do that beforehand. Don't do it while you're testing.
Do it behind a shower curtain. What else you got, Billy?
Wait, that's just, you'll see what this is going to become next week, I think. I hope.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, you got it.
That's it. I'm done.
That's it. All right. Let's go to Mr. Phipps.
Hello?
Todd, you out there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I don't see myself on the camera though.
Can you wave for us?
There you go.
There we go.
So I have two little things to show. First, I have this piece of chestnut. I had never turned it before. I had it sitting in my shop, so I made this little OG bowl with it. I think the grain and everything in it's pretty. So
Oh, very nice.
That's pretty, Todd.
very this stuff is like really easy to turn. You know, I don't think my tools were sharp and they didn't need to be. And then it came off the tool just great, and started sanding at like 200 or something. The other thing is, and I'm following Billy here, which I should have, because a few weeks ago or whatnot, Billy was talking about having this little high-speed steel stuff that he bought on Amazon to make his parting tool. And so I went out there in Lightspeed and created a little file to cut out the pieces for a handle that matched the that matched the tool width and everything. And so my little thing to show today is the parting tool that I made using that little piece of high-speed steel and my laser engraver. So there's the
Hey, how about
Good,
that?
Todd.
Look at that.
little
Very nice,
worldwide wood stuff on there. And I haven't put the edge on it yet. I haven't
I see that.
done that because I just did this today at like lunch.
Looks great.
But yeah, it was a simple little project, and now I'm ready to go out there and try to make some bowls out of boards using my new little parting tool.
Why didn't I think about using my laser engraver for a handle?
And so I made two. I don't think my brother's on this week, but here's his. It's just not together yet. So I put my name and logo on one, and it's all showing up backwards. Looks like
No,
to me.
you're fine.
It's not.
It's good from here.
It's coming through for us
on mine, but yeah, and then I did one for my brother too, and these things come 5 in a pack, and it's 5 of these little pieces of steel for what, $11 or something, and so that's a cheap little parting tool.
Yeah, don't make the mistake that I did and cut it in half. I needed the length and I didn't realize it.
So that was on my mind all the time, Billy, and then I wasn't sure how much of this thing to put into the handle. So I don't know. I've got like 2.5 inches or something in there. I took my Sorby parting tool that I had and used it for the size of the handle, and then this thing sticks out the same amount as the Sorby one, but the Sorby piece goes all the way through the handle where mine doesn't. So
right, that should be fine.
I used an epoxy in there, so it should be. We'll try to stay away from those. Yeah.
Stay away from the catch. You'll be all right.
Yeah. So,
all's good.
That's me.
All right. Thanks, Todd.
Oh yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's go to Scott.
Hi there. I've
got
just
you
got a
now.
couple things to show tonight.
Okay.
I watched Carl Jacobson do a little button box, and my wife is a quilter, so I kind of tried to do a button box like that. It's got a nice fitting lid, elm on the bottom,
Hold it
some
up.
bird's eye.
There we go.
Beautiful.
You got one of
Very
them
nice.
reactive cameras, don't you?
Yeah, and then it's got bird's eye on the lid, and I think
Oh,
that the
cool.
bird's eye showed up quite nice.
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
I bet it looks better in
And
person.
then our club took down a maple tree for a guy some time ago, and I saved a bunch, and that's the Manitoba maple bowl that I turned. And we took it down about a year ago, and I'm quite surprised that it's still got that kind of color. So,
Wow.
and I
Yeah.
just finished that with walnut oil, and I'm going to put a couple more coats on it, but I'm really happy with that. And then
Very pretty.
this is an ambrosia maple bowl, and I kind of screwed up because I don't have what do you call it, a steady for the bowl, and I had it about a half-inch thick, and I was just doing the top, and I went to make one more cut to get rid of some end grain, and it shattered real bad. I had 8-inch deep grooves all the way around, so that's as good as I could get it. There's a couple spots where there's some tear out, but I'm pretty proud of that one. So
That's
Very
fine.
pretty.
the wife says now I have to make some salad spoons because she wants to use it.
There's a good excuse. You can use that as an excuse to go buy something. You know, that's
a good idea.
that steady rest. There's your reason why you need a steady rest. You're gonna make another hole like that.
It's on order, so hopefully next week, because I've got 2 more of these to turn. So, but that's what I've got for tonight. So,
Okay. Sounds good. I'm just looking for the next character, and guess he's already boogered out. Let's see. Terry, you still there? There he is. You're muted though, Terry.
Hello.
We
I'm
got
good. I haven't been out in the shop much in the last month. Wife's having some issues and I've been primary caretaker, but I got out there a little bit playing around, and a couple of weeks ago, somebody was showing a lid for a mason jar, and I got a whole box of antique blue colored mason jars out in the shop. I've been dragging around for about 20 years. I look at them and put them back, and look at them and put them back. I said, well, that might be a good thing to do, but they've all got these really nice caps. Probably older than I am. But anyway, I abandoned a few of the caps and went out and made some wooden lids for them. And I just went to Walmart and bought the inserts and put them in. I got like 12 of them for $5 or something in a box, and just put the inserts, made the recess to put them in. They're not even hooked yet. They're just interference fit. They're just playing around with them. That's a piece of walnut that I found as scrap. And this is another one about like it, walnut. They look pretty nice on these old green jars. And then I made one this afternoon out of green mesquite. There's no finish on it. I just buffed it off quick.
I like
and
the
that's
shape of
about
that
all
one.
I've been doing lately. I missed the learning turn at the club and taking care of doctor duties and stuff, but just thought I'd add that in. It was kind of a fun project, and I got about 25 more of those jars. I don't know if I'll ever do anything with them or not, but I don't know what I'll do with them after I do them. But anyway, I thought I'd show them to you. That's all I got.
Look nice.
I do have one question. What is scrap walnut? I'm from Canada. It's not scrap up here.
Actually, somebody at the club brought these pieces in. They looked like they were just small moldings. They looked like they were some kind of trim off of a building or something, or off of a piece of furniture. Somebody brought them in and threw them there, and they were just the right size to get two of those out of. So I just a little piece of stuff. And yeah, when I lived in Memphis, that was a good place to live for a wood turner because there's every kind of wood up there you can imagine, and it's always on the street. I was driving a service truck at the time, so I was out on the road all the time. And there was always two chainsaws in the truck, and the boss always asked me why I come home with a truck full of wood. I kept the club supplied. It was fun.
Very good.
That's all I got, guys.
All right, right on. Let's go to Mr. Duxbury.
Ooh,
Tim.
good evening. Well, when we started, Eddie said something about fun things we do. My grandson is graduating from college, some kind of a safety engineer, but anyway, his first job is in an oil field in the middle of the desert, New Mexico, Carlsbad, New Mexico, and since he's also a fabulous turner. Anyway, I said all that's out there is cactus, so I made him a pen out of this is Mexican bird of paradise. It's got little prickers on the side. I thought it would fit in really good with being a,
He's got a good sense of
but
humor.
anyway, he's got a good sense of humor too, but it should be interesting. I also got a question on some wood here. Let me do the screen share a second. I got some oak. And it's got these bird's eye things in it. Have you ever seen this?
Yes.
Slits.
Have you ever seen that?
I've seen something similar in live oak.
I can't imagine. It almost looks like Banksia.
Maple has a lot of that in it sometimes too.
Huh.
Yeah, I've seen some of that in live oak, not nearly that much, but I've seen pieces, especially where where it was near a crotch or the tree was under duress.
Yeah, this is the whole tree, the whole pieces. There's 3 pieces of it, and
Wow.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I just wondered if anybody'd ever seen it because it's red oak. This is part of the red, and there's bark underneath some of this, but
Okay.
Make something out of it.
yeah, I'm going to. In fact, all those circles are going to be centers for something. Anyway, just wanted to show that.
That's really pretty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait to see what the finished piece is gonna look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me either.
Yeah, me either. Anyway. Anyway, that's all for me.
Good stuff.
Go here. So Doug Miller is next. Doug.
Yes, sir. Here I am.
And then,
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, let me
Hi.
there we go. Do. Look familiar there? Got
I
my
like it.
Yeah, I got
I'll
them
be-
in
I'll be
today.
right. Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Entertain everybody for a few minutes. I got to go
Yeah.
do the insulin stuff.
I've got
so.
2 or 3 things here. I was just going to say when I got up this morning, I noticed I checked on my delivery, and lo and behold, they told me they had already delivered it at 1:40 a.m. So I looked at the front door, wasn't there. Looked at the back door, wasn't there. Went out to the mailbox. Lo and behold, my hats are in my mailbox. So yay me! I've got 2. This blue one and I got a white one too. Got to have a white hat. That's how they know you're one of the good guys. I showed y'all my replacement wedding band that was in process last week. And here it is now. That's a piece of Mopani.
Hold it
on
back a little bit, Doug. There.
It's on a
Nice.
stainless steel core, and I really like it. It's light. I'm enjoying wearing it. It's been great. I've sanded it 3 or 4 times, getting the edges just where I want them. Still not quite there, but they're almost there. But it's doing great. Billy was showing his egg holder a while ago, and I think y'all saw this one that I did a while back. When I turned a billiard ball. This is size for the set of billiard balls that I have, and I did find out after I got started that not all billiard balls are exactly the same size. Some are just slightly smaller, some are slightly larger. So you keep these little pieces of wood around, you wonder what you're ever going to do with them. Call it chucks. They work great. Those little slits. This one was made. I'll take the band clamp off and I'll soak it in water the day before I'm going to use it. And that way it's a little more pliable. I can get my ball in there, I can squeeze it down good, and it works really, really well. All right, now that that's out of the way, showed y'all this vase last week. It was still had the foot on it, still in the chuck. There you can see the blue a little pretty well.
Yeah,
this
pretty.
was dyed. This was dyed black, sanded pretty much all the way off. About 99% of it was sanded off, but the black stuck in the softer parts of the wood. Then I put midnight blue on it, knocked it back a little bit. Then I put sky blue on it, all out of the intrinsic colors. This is Bradford pear. I think in the video when I did it, I said Bartlett pear. It's not Bartlett pear. You eat Bartlett pears. This is Bradford pear. So anyway, and it's, that's kind of the natural color of it. It comes out, it's fairly light when it's still green, but as it ages, as it dries out, it gets this real nice brown color and cuts like butter.
Oh, yeah.
As
Bradford
dry as
pear
this
cut well.
was,
Beautiful.
some of you guys who were in there saw I was getting really nice streamers of wood coming off of this, and realized or remembered sometime last night. I think I was in bed last night. I had not sharpened my Doug Thompson gouge before that video, but it still cut. It just cut this stuff like butter. So it came out really nice. I didn't go as thin as yours, Billy. It's about a quarter of an inch. I meant for it to be thinner, but it came out okay. I felt very comfortable the entire time. Never got worried about it, even though I've got two two big voids. This was a crotch. The big half was on this side, the small half was on this side, and I ended up with a crotch in the middle. Was hoping to get some of that reactionary wood, but it just didn't show up in here. I should have turned it that way, made this the top and this the bottom so that I could have that reactionary wood still there. But anyway, any other thoughts, questions there? Inside was sanded by hand. That was a pain. Did not enjoy
Mine
that.
wasn't that thin on purpose though, Doug.
I understand. I saw. Yeah, I know, but still, it's thinner. And it came out. Yours came out beautiful. I love everything about it.
Thank you.
This one I wish was a little thinner. And I had another piece that I did yesterday. I don't know if you can see it. Here we go. You can
Yeah, I
almost see
saw
it.
that.
Yeah.
I did that yesterday in yesterday's demo. That's another piece of pear. Same tree, and just a half log piece that I turned with the bark to the top. I took it to the store. I forgot what I was doing, and I took it to the store today. And so I was coming in here and I remembered, oh duh, I can't show it now. I just took it to the store, so it's there.
Want to see what it looks like? Watch Doug's video.
Yeah, it's there. It's always there. So it's
So
always
what
a
are
lot
you
of fun.
going to turn next week?
What am I going to turn? I don't know. I've already made the thing. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to do an off center. Yeah, I'm going to turn the the inside of the bowl off center from the outside. Is what I'm going to do. So we'll have two chucking points on the bottom of the bowl, so that the center can be offset part way. That'll make a crescent shaped rim around the bowl. I think it'll be pretty cool.
Doug, what'd you finish that ring with?
The ring is CA.
Okay.
Straight up CA. I used the Parfex 3408, and even though you don't need to do it, I think I put about 7 or 8 coats of the Parfex, and then I used Axe on it, abrasive paste and the wax, and it shined up like new money. So I'm pretty happy with it. I do want to go around now that I've sanded the edges. Once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go around and paint on some Parfex on the edge. I mean, the Parfex has already saturated that, but just to seal up that edge so that water can't get into it, I'm gonna put some more Parfex on it, just seal it up.
Yeah, very nice. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. And that is a stainless ring core too. I got those from Craft Supplies, I think. There are other people that make them and sell them. But I just got it all from Craft Supplies. I got the whatever they're called, the little black end things so that you can put them on a pin mandrel and sand them and turn them and all that stuff. And the glue doesn't stick to them.
Yeah, those little chamfered bushings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delron, or I forget what they're called now, what the material is. But yeah, it's a little black bushing chamfered on the inside so that it holds the ring. Anyway, you can turn it, you can sand it, you can use your CA, and the CA does not stick to that Delron. It sticks a little bit, but you pull it right off. It's very, very
It sticks,
easy.
but it pulls right off.
Yeah. It's not a bond. It's just kind of sticks a little bit. But anyway, they work really nice, really nice. But I watched a video today of a guy who uses, he just uses wood. It's rolls of wood that he puts together with epoxy. I'm going to be trying that method out. Looks real interesting. And I've got a customer that wants some of those in the store that she's got. So
Yeah, I've seen a guy that will take a plane and he'll plane the wood, right, and get those little curls off of it, and then
yes,
and then wrap those curls up and soak them in CA or an epoxy, and then make a ring.
Right. It may be the same guy I'm talking about.
Maybe David. Yeah. David Pachuto.
Doug, I've made those, but I've made them out of veneer.
Yeah.
I soak it in water.
Uh-huh.
Then I wrap it around a socket that's real close to the ring size of whoever I'm building it for.
Right. That makes sense.
I just tape it to that socket till it dries.
Right.
Because you boil the veneer, you put it in hot water to get it softened. Wrap it around till it dries. Then you take it off that socket and wrap tape around the socket. And then you flood it with CA and then tape it back shut again. And then wait 24 hours and then put it on your mandrel and turn the inside and the outside. You don't even need a metal ring because it's all wood.
Right. That's what this guy's whole thing is. He says, yeah, you can use the metal ones, but some people want a solid wood one. But if you just turn wood, chances are it's going to split on you. This one I split the blank 3 times just trying to get it drilled.
Yeah,
because my glue block was not flat. I thought it was, but it wasn't. And so I split it because of the pressure.
Yeah,
But,
what's nice about using the veneer, it gets so flexible because it's so thin.
Right.
And you cut it into strips, and then if your veneer is not going to be long enough because it only comes in 15-inch sheets usually, small pieces. So what I do is I chamfer the edge, and then I put 2 chamfered edges together, and when you roll it, you always make sure that the last wrap is a full piece.
Right.
And then you don't see and you glue that chamfer as you're rolling it the first time. Even when it's wet, you glue that together right away.
Sure. Yeah.
And
I have a video on my channel how to make bentwood rings like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There are several methods in
put it in the chat, Heather.
Okay.
Yeah, there are several methods and they work very, very well. So it's just a matter of finding one that you like, that fits your style of working. This fellow I was watching today does his, he starts with a 1-inch wide board. I guess it's a 5/4 board, and he planes it. And so, and he talks about adjusting your plane so you get the thickness that you like, and it builds as fast as you want. And that all makes perfectly good sense. I like his methodology. So I'm going to give it a try.
Good.
All right.
Thanks, Doug.
That's all from me
Appreciate
tonight, Dane. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, let's go to Mr. Glenn. We got you, buddy. How you doing tonight?
Okay,
Facebook.
there we go.
There we go.
I haven't been doing much turning, probably for the past month. I've been doing a lot of flat work that I've been wanting to do for a long time. But I had turned a couple of handles. Had the forgot which. I think these are the inserts from Cindy Drozda, and I had turned this handle out of Red Heart, and then I turned another one.
Right.
I did another one out of this one. I think it's called Chica Vaca or something like that. And I had done those two for a few tools that I needed handles for. And then last month, our club, we had a challenge. Our challenge was turn some chess pieces. And so I had turned a king and a queen. And eventually down the road, I want to do turn a whole set of chess pieces out of different varieties of wood. But these are the king's about 5.5 inches tall, and the queen's about 4.5 inches tall. But that was our challenge for last month. So that's all I have.
Nice
Okay.
Thanks.
Bear with me. I'm in the middle of typing a message here, so you'll be highlighted for a minute. Joaquin Vincent is the next one. If one of the co-hosts would like to spotlight him, please.
Getting there.
There he is. Unmuted here. Okay, and get this out of my way. All right. Well, last week I think Kurt was doing some dyeing and burning. I didn't get to see it all, but this is an ash bow that I scorched, and then it cracked on me as well. And then I took, a wire grinder and ground all the soft grain out, and then embellished it with the white embellishing cream. And that crack really bothers me though, but I just got too hot there, I think. But I think I'll put some wire or something in there and stitch it together. And that's that.
But that looks nice.
Well,
That
thank
does,
you.
looks great.
And then there's this, let's see, what is this? Yeah, sugar maple. This is some sugar maple. For a bow.
Wow. It's really good. What is that finished with? The grain is
Lacquer. It's lacquer.
Super.
And it's not rattle can. I wipe it off and buff it, and it's just
wow.
I prefer it when I was doing production turning before the pandemic. Well, it's just the quickest thing I could do is what I wanted to do, and this was lacquer so forgiving and really fast to do. So anyway, I'm surprised I still have all the corners on it, but it turned out very well. Anyway, and I got
Joaquin, you should have showed that during Martin's meeting.
I think I'll show it next week and see what they got.
Okay. Well, the reason why is because there was a couple folks that were showing off, thin square turnings, and one of the guys was having problems because he couldn't get the corners.
Yeah, about a 3/4 inch
proper shape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he went too far in, and then he already took the mass out, so now he's got chatter bits. So.
Well, when I am doing a square one of any kind or the 3-point, well, this is the 3-point. If I knock a corner off, I just take a marker line here and saw it off all the way around and start all over. You're no use rounding the corners because that looks you screwed up when you have to round. You're showing everybody
in the bottom.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I would argue that rounding off the corners looks okay if you do them all pretty the same. So I've done that, and yeah, I probably, because I knocked the corners off, except I think the first one I tried, I didn't realize you were supposed to keep the corners square, and I rounded them off. So, and it turned out all right. But
I did it once and I just couldn't stand it. I felt guilty about it. I'll almost throw it away if I knock the corner off.
Sometimes it's a feature. It's a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's okay. Yeah, I understand, Matt. Good.
You guys are just too much of a perfectionist.
Well, I'm not one of them guys that lets the wood talk to me. If I got an idea in my head, I want it to be that when I finish it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people get stuck in that mindset early on. You know,
Yeah.
oh, let the wood talk. I'll let the wood talk to me, and let it be what it's going to be. And then later on in our journey, we're like, no, you're going to be what I think you're going to be.
And you got some people, you know, that they're afraid to waste the wood. They think they're going to waste the wood.
Yeah.
But you're going for that grain, you know, that look on a grain of any piece. And
Right.
I don't know. I'm probably
Yeah, I think that's a fallacy with a lot of, you know, the early turners is they think they're seeing something really beautiful, and so consequently they leave things a lot thicker and heavier than what it needs to be, and it would look so much better if you get all the way down and get that profile to really reveal and see what's underneath that grain.
That's a problem I have teaching beginners. They'll start and it ends up being kind of an OG, you know, they think that looks cool. I said, no, it don't look cool. That's not what we wanted, you know. Let's make this look like something attractive. And anyway, it's fun and it's learning process. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What brand of lacquer did you use?
Depth.
Okay.
And I take my lacquer and I mix it 50-50 with lacquer thinner. And I wipe on about wipe on, wipe off, about 3 coats like you'd use a wipe on, wipe off, you know. And then when it's still in the lathe, I can keep it in the lathe, you know, I just varnish it. And sometimes I use the bill buffer on it, but I don't really like to. And been lucky with, I want it to look like polished wood. Yeah.
It's polished. Looks great. Looks great.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I got.
Sounds good, Joaquin.
Thank you.
All right, let me check to see if anybody else messaged in saying they got anything. Nope. So that's it for gallery for the moment. So let's go back to Captain Eddie and get his thoughts on some of the pieces that we just saw.
Really great.
Okay.
Look, comments would be right there. Joaquin, we're counting on you to be with us on March 15th when we do the tips and tricks, for you to share some of those little insights that you use when you turn.
Okay.
When you held that piece up just now, and I often use the term when I saw it flash, when you presented that piece, and I could look clean across the bottom of that bowl, the inside of that bowl, I saw one complete complete line. There wasn't a wrinkle, wasn't a divot, wasn't a ridge, wasn't a. It was fluid. It was like you blew a balloon up and you're looking at the inside of it, smooth and even gone across. Those are techniques that folks you need to pay attention to. I've seen so many people show me a piece and say, look, I turned this and I have to bite my tongue because I want to say, what happened in the middle? You know, when there's a divot or a hump or a bump or what you want to say, what'd you do? Well, I know what they did. They just didn't know what they did. And sometimes it's such as simple as what happens here when you turn that tool off and on, when you use the wrong gouge, when you think you're making a cut and you're making a terrible cut. You're not slicing, you're gouging. And that's the process that we're going to share with you folks. And that's why we do these shared things. is when I see someone making a cut and they have absolutely no control over the bevel. They have no, the tool is just going at it. And they're using two hands to go at it. We may have saw recently we had Mark Soleil come on. Now, Mark has experienced a couple of strokes. He's lost a lot of use of his right side. Mark did a great demonstration for us online in his shop in that condition. And his wood was cut to the position where, to the condition where it didn't need sanding or didn't require a lot of sanding because he sliced it. He understood where that bevel was and what it was doing and to cut it the whole time. And he was using one hand to drive that tool down and run it through. Because you can't do all this stuff. You don't have the control.
Yeah.
And it amazes me when I see people like just now we watched Joaquin, that piece. That is a master of making a slice. If you can come in on the square piece, it's difficult if you do a platter or a plate. But now you've got four corners flying at you, and you're starting out and you're walking in slowly. And I mean, slowly is if you make a pass and come back and want to make a whole nother pass and come back and make a whole nother, you're in the wrong game. He knows how to make those qualified cuts to bring it down in degrees. So you still have some mass of structure holding your piece. So you make those cuts. Those are the techniques we want to share with you because those are the techniques it's going to take your almost good turning to the top of the notch, way up there. And it's going to, every time you turn, you're going to say, damn, I'm good. You know, and we want you to do that. We want you to say, man, I didn't know I could do that. Instead of saying, there's no way I can do that. And that's what we do here. We share with you the ideas and the brainstorms and the tricks and tips that our turners come up with. And I love watching turners do their little things. I would go to demonstrations with world-class wood turners, and I really don't like qualifying experts and all this stuff. I don't like all that. I just want to see a guy that understands what his tools do, and can make them work right. And I'll go to the demonstration and just watch the tools work. I don't care what he turns. I want to watch him and his tools. I watched Phil Irons on the AEW thing probably 12 years ago and sat right there next to him and watched it. And we're about halfway through. He said, is there something I can show you? And I said, no, I got it all. I got it pretty good. I can do what you just did. And he said, oh, I taught you. And I said, oh, no, you gave up all your secrets. You see, I wasn't watching that vase or that bowl or whatever you're turning. I was watching those tools. I was watching how you presented them to the work, how you twisted them and turned them on, turned them off, how you did your shears, how you did your gouges, and all that. All I wanted to see was what you used in those tools to do that work. And if you don't get mesmerized by, is that whistle going to look like a whistle? And that becomes unimportant. It is what the quality of what you do, what you've turned out, how you feel about it. And every time you turn a lathe off, you should be able to say, that was all right. I did okay. And you know, and the burn pile doesn't exist. I think we heard it tonight from Charlie, the best. He went to the
recovery room.
To what room?
Recovery room.
Recovery
Future
room.
project.
Charlie, he went over to Tim Hatch's recovery room because we give the recovery room's Tim Hatch's idea. He went over to Tim Hatch's recovery room and recovered some pieces and then turned them into wood turning projects. And it's just like, oh, Kim Tippin used to tell us, there's no scrap wood in the shop. You got what you got, you know, and until it's gone, it's not gone. You got to use it. And tonight,
He also said he had future project wood he got off his shop floor. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And tonight we saw a couple of collet chucks made, and they were made out of wood. And I teased Billy a lot about it because I knew what Billy Burt was going with. He didn't have a hole in the bottom of that. Billy gets rocket laugh. I've been there. I've been there and had to drill the damn hole in the bottom and not hit the piece. Yeah, I asked him,
Did it 3
that was
times.
first time experience I experienced. I couldn't get it out. I actually put it in the freezer to see if the movement would happen. That didn't happen. It just got ice on it. But I made a whole bunch of collar chucks out of PVC pipe couplings. And shizzy, it looks like at the hardware store down on the corner. And yes, there is a hardware on the corner. I went in with a couple of eggs I turned and was going through the plumbing section trying to find couplers, collets, screw-on ends, drain cleaners, a faucet. And the guy said, what are you trying to fix? I'm not trying to fix anything. I'm looking for something to turn wood in. And I can make it, good this and this and this. And I had a whole box full of them. I mean, I must have bought $40 of PVC parts that day because I came back ready to grab and hold anything. And I did the same thing. I did the slots in them. I hollowed them. I did a little divot in them. And then I did the crosses in them. And then I put the bands on them. I never did think about doing the water on the wood like Doug Miller said a little while ago. Wetting the wood up to let it flex. Great idea. I mean, what's God done? Got wood for to make it flex. But we coming up with all these little ideas. March 13th, we're going to want to have all those ideas and more. And we got the people to do it. And I want to see, just a minute ago, we saw Joaquin say he's got a bowl and he wants to stitch it. As soon as he said he wanted to stitch it, I'm looking at the colors and I'm thinking, I'm going to stitch that too. But would I use a silver or a gold? Or would I look for something? And then it hit me. I had some black, very soft black that would work awesome to stitch that with. It would actually look like you put a shoelace through it and tied it with a shoelace, but it was one and to accent it. And don't pass up all that stuff. That's really a nifty way to finish off a piece. And
they make that magnet wrapping wire too, for when you're wrapping a magnet or a coil or something, and it's like this iridescent red. That's a really cool color too.
Oh, that would be nice, huh?
Yeah.
Somebody seemed to say they couldn't sell colored bowls because the people weren't ready for it. I ran across the same thing. I had a whole box full, and the people at the art fair said, if you can't guarantee this food safe, we don't want you to sell it. I said, yeah, if I gotta guarantee it's food. I can't guarantee those plates over there are food safe. That girl over there's got, And they looked at me kind of strange. I said, I ain't guaranteeing anything. This is art. You hang it on a wall, food, we'll never know it. You put your keys in on a dresser, nobody will know it. But I had to wait a while for them to walk away. And then I put my colored stuff and I sold them all. But then I was doing platters for another show, and the same thing came up with somebody said, "Is that food safe?" Yeah. Why? Well, if I coated it with something I made that was made in America in 3 days, it'd be food safe. At least that's the common, the
common denominator.
That's what you have to believe. That's like, somebody at the nutritionist told me the other day, don't leave my plastic water bottles in the car because the plastic will leach out into the water and contaminate me when it gets warm.
Schedule 2 anyhow, it's already leaching into the water.
Yeah, well,
while it's sitting in the grocery store.
Shh, don't tell them that, man.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, don't tell them that.
They got expiration dates on the water. When does water go bad?
Right. Some great marketing.
Just think, today I'm paying 4 times more for a gallon of water than I used to pay for a gallon of gas. But that was a long time ago.
All right. Hey, Eddie, let's go to Matt Harbor here real quick. He says he's got something to show.
What you got, Matt? Come on, man.
So this was the first 3-point ball I ever turned, and it's got the rounded corners. Yeah, one of my club members gave me this piece of glue up, and it said make something out of that, and it had ends sticking out. So I was like, I don't know, I put it on the lathe and make it round. And then here's a shift. Come on. it won't shift. Stop share. Hang on. Turn here.
No, I'm glad you're having problems too.
No, that was me doing something stupid. Let me share it again. So this is this is a a manta bowl, but it's basically a square bowl. But I did a sort of a hammered gold thing on a texturing to cover up all kinds of problems with it. And I did the wood burning on the bottom to cover up tear out around the corner. So I did this years ago. So I was covering a lot of things with this bowl, but it turned out okay.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I still have it if anybody's interested. Thanks, guys.
You
I
bet.
need to put it on the price reduction table, Matt.
No, I'm going to raise the price on it. That's how you get it sold.
Yeah, or that, one or the other. One or the other. It's not selling at that price.
It's
Raise it
art.
first.
It's art.
Yeah. All right. Is there anybody else that I may have missed that has something to show?
I have something to show for Captain Eddie.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is this Randy?
Yeah. Yep, this is Randy.
Yep.
Captain Eddie.
I tried to come to you, but you weren't on earlier.
We had a power outage here. And I'm still not entirely back together again because the sound on my computer is still messed up. So this is jewelry wire.
Oh, that's good looking.
It comes in various colors. Oops.
Wow.
It's on Messenger.
And I got like about 15, somewhere around a dozen or 15 different colors.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is rather
Heating wire.
fine, but it comes in different gauges. And this is called jewelry wire. It's used for making earrings and things like that.
It's on text messaging.
So it comes in lots of different colors, and I use it for various things. I've made ornaments out of it, where the ornament is just composed of rings of metal that's woven together. So
That's a cool idea.
Have you used it for turning?
Uh-oh, lost your voice.
You're
muted, Randy. Randy, you're muted.
yeah, people have used this for doing repair work on cracks and things like that. This is a
Okay.
bit thin for that, but it comes in different gauges.
Okay. Right on.
Cool.
Hey, Dane, I got something to show to Captain Eddie. If
Oh,
he's still here.
Yeah, he's still
Ready,
here.
Captain?
I'm here, Scott. What you got?
As soon as he highlights me.
Oh, I had you highlighted.
I'm gonna give him a little sneak peek.
Okay.
See that, Captain?
Now don't say what you're doing.
Okay, all I gotta say is, huh?
It looked like
I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing.
That was a sneak peek.
So in a couple of weeks, I'll show you the finished piece, Captain.
All right. Now, boy, now you got me baited. That's, oh, boy.
Coming
Can
along
you,
well.
can you hold it back? I want to do a screen grab. Can you hold it back up again?
Real quick.
I got you now, bud.
I want to know how he's holding that on the lathe.
Yep, I know how.
The next
Yes,
one will
go
be made.
Kurt.
The next one will be made on the lathe.
Oh.
Well, this one's probably going to be enhanced on the lathe.
Yep, it'll be enhanced on the lathe for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks interesting,
Right,
Scott.
check. All right.
I want Brenda to check in for Band-Aids when that's all done.
This looks like something that will be find use for that really small skew we made from Steve's Twindle's square thingy.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
possible.
That'd be a good.
Posiblemente.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
be
if you
deep into
do,
that.
Might be used on the tenon.
I'm gonna need a demo.
Projects like that with tools you make. How about that? You can't get any better than that, can it?
Well,
Right.
I got 7 hours in that so far, Captain.
Okay, well, we'll wait. Now I got you on a book. Now I gotta see what this comes out to. I gotta be back for this. All right.
Oh, you'll be back,
That's
Eddie. You'll be back.
that's one of the things you see here, folks. Hey, it's coming up on the top of the hour, and that's when I normally duck out. But this doesn't end. You have to understand it. There's a formal meeting and there's an informal meeting. And the informal meeting is where it really hits the fan. I mean, if you wonder what goes on, wonder no more. Stick around for a little bit because we get into conversations. And, it's when you're on a tailgate and the pop tops start popping, and you start talking and you let things out. And if you got a problem, we got the turners and we get you the answers. And we're not here to sell you anything, even a line of bowl. So
Right.
if you like wood turning, you're in the right spot. Bring a friend or whatever. We had over 100
Bring a
people
friend,
join us
tell a
tonight.
friend.
Tell somebody to join us. This is meeting number 230, and we really enjoyed it tonight. I had a good time. I found, man, every single time we get together, you show me something I hadn't seen before, and I'm always thankful for it. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, being involved, being part of your wood turning club. And I got to point it out, it's your wood turning club. And please, when you go into the shop this week, please be safe. Come out in great shape. And before you leave tonight, save the chat. It's important that you save the chat. Got a lot of great information there tonight. And on behalf of Tim Hatch, who may have ducked out already, SWAT is coming up the last weekend in August, and they're not taking hotel bookings until next week, but you can get places to stay and campgrounds and all that's all available now. Need more help? Get a hold of Tim Hatch, and if you need more information on all that, check out the contact list on our website and how to get one. We'll help you. I'm Captain Eddie Castle on behalf of all the wood turners in the entire world. I'm speaking for them. They want to thank you for coming on out tonight and having a good time with us. No matter what, be safe. Good night, everybody. Been great. Oh, this has been good.
Good night, Eddie.
Awesome. Thanks,
Good night,
Eddie.
Captain
Thanks
Eddie.
seeing you tonight.
Thanks, Eddie.